next. You lied to me. You lied to me. You lied to me. Told me just to survive. You lied to me. You lied to me, bitch, but we alive. Grant Cardone, that's the next. Grant Cardone, that's the next. I don't get a check and go to flex. I just get a check and reinvest. Hustling through the struggle, that's the method. Grant Cardone, that's the next. I don't get a check and go to flex. I just get a check and reinvest. Hustling through the struggle, that's the method. Grant Cardone, that's the next. You lied to me. You lied to me. You lied to me. Told me just to survive. New check. I had planning for the future, we the new jets. All money in, none out. Gotta keep the water flow.
Gotta allow that mic to work, okay? Hey, welcome, Grant Cardone here. Hope you're doing well today. Welcome to our 10X Wealth Summit. I'm gonna share with you today big things about what you can do in 2023 to 10X your money, 10X your business, 10X your money mindset. It's gonna be a phenomenal day. Have something to write with, okay? Probably gonna be 45 minutes. I'm gonna bring a guest on. This guy's in the AI space. You will know who he is when I bring him in. I'm gonna do another 30 or 45 minutes after that to kind of bring together what he shares with us, big name. Then I'm gonna bring another big name in after I talk to you about two things that you have to do in 2023 to make sure that you take advantage of this tide, this recessionary tide that appears to be happening in the United States, this black cap cloud that is, oh, I said it was turned off. Of course, Ryan would call me right now. This black, dark tide of negativity, recessions, talks about de-dollarization around the world, problems with conflicts around the world, political issues. Look, I want to look through all that today, and I want to put you and your family on a track, the same track my family's on, to push through this despite whatever is happening in the world. If you don't know who I am, I have been committed to my own personal success since I was literally 10 years old. I lost my dad at 10 years old, and I have been searching for, hey, how do I take care of my family so that when I'm not around anymore, I lost him when I was 10, he wasn't there to take care of the family. Therefore, the finances that were left with my mom was what she had to manage for the next many years to get 5 kids through school. I know there's a lot of you out there struggling right now. Wages are flat or decreasing, hard to get a home mortgage. People are having trouble paying their rent. Inflation's a risk right now. All these things are issues for you, but look, there are also opportunities. And I'm gonna show you today how to thread the needle, if you will. So if you're committed to 10Xing 2023, throw it in the chat. 10X, this is my year, this is my time, this is my moment. There's never a better time than now, okay? Because good times, bad times, flat times, whatever, you're still left with your family, the 2 or 3 or 4 of you, to figure out how do I get through this to the other side of this, and on the other side, I become something bigger. So here's my big claims for you today. First of all, the information you're going to get here, you cannot get any other place. The people that I'm interviewing today, like literally, I interview them to figure out how to make my next moves. And I've chose these two people, and a third guest, by the way, a third guest that's going to blow you away. Young dude that has become a multi-millionaire many times, 20 times, because he's made the same right moves that I'll be sharing with you today in your business. So look, we want to 10x your money, 10x your mindset. We want to 10x your funnels. How many people know you? We want to 10x your marketing, your brand recognition, what people say and think about you. All this is going to happen in the next 2 hours. I promise you. My big claim. If you don't get these things, you call my office and say, I need my money back right now. Okay? Second thing, there's a workbook for all the VIPs. Okay? About 4,000 VIPs in the room right now. You have a workbook you can follow along with. There are, how many people registered for this?
170,000.
170,000 people registered this, so welcome. Thank you for thinking about yourself, your business, your career. For those of you that want to go beyond the 2 hours, we have an offer for you. It's a $5,200 offer. First 250 people literally get it for free. The website's grantcardone.com/wealth. This is how it works. The $5,200 is written down to $297. In 3 weeks, I'm going to do a 3-day virtual event. I'm going to deliver it to your home, your tablet, your computer. You don't have to travel, go no place. I spend about $6 million on this event. I'm going to deliver this content to you over 3 days rather than 2 or 3 hours. Go really, really deep on each one of these topics. We're going to take the $5,200 price to $297. You're going to pay me $297 on a credit card, Visa card, MasterCard, American Express, however you do that. And then I'm going to give you a credit at my store. You virtually pay zero. Okay? And that's for the first 250 people that take advantage of this. The website's grantcardone.com/wealth. I'll give you a shout out when you take advantage of it. If you're listening on Twitter Spaces or Instagram or wherever you're listening right now, you're on YouTube, Ustream. If you have questions, throw them in the chat. We actually see those. This is going to be phenomenal. Get a piece of paper. I always carry a tablet with me everywhere I go. I always go somewhere with a tablet, whether it's in my laptop bag, my office, right here with you, because I expect to learn something. And I also know that I'll forget what I learned. So I write it down. I keep these pads like literally for 10 years sometimes to go back. I date them at the top. Go ahead and put 8?
Yep.
Yeah.
4/8. 23, and make a decision right now. Today my life gets better. Today I change my life. Today is the day. There's going to be a pivot day in your life. There's going to be a moment in your life where you decide, bro, this is it. I'm turning off the old me and turning on the new me. So if you're committed to turning on the new me and 10x and whoever you are today, whatever genre you're in. We've worked with people in automotive, plumbing, HVAC, chiropractic, dentists, engineers, technology, AI, insurance, banking, finance, real estate, commercial real estate, residential real estate, mortgage real estate, speaking. How many speaking stages have we created now in the last?
Thousands.
Thousands and thousands of people we put on stages. We're in the movie business now. We're shooting movies right now and TV shows, 8 TV shows to show off entrepreneurs. I started from nothing, folks, zero. And I had to figure out a handful of things that became my non-negotiables. I can't learn everything about everything. I'm not that smart. That's why I bring so many of these great guests on. First guest is going to be talking about how to take advantage of this AI space. The second guest is going to be talking about how to expand and use entertainment, marketing, and branding to actually build a name around your business. So let's just start there, okay? Because all these people that I bring in, and I've interviewed Tillman Fertitta, spent a couple hours with this guy, just asking him questions.
$12 billion worth $12
He's a $12 billion guy. Okay, he's done
Rockets,
$1 trillion worth of sales through cash registers. $1 trillion. He's grew up in South Texas, not far from where I was, same age as I am. I was eating at his restaurants when I was 25 years old, didn't know who he was. He would end up building a $12 billion enterprise. I've interviewed, you name it, man. Like John Travolta.
Kevin Hart.
Tom Brady. Talked about Kevin. Kevin's going to be a billionaire. Kevin will be a billionaire in the comedy business. It's never been done before. Okay? John Travolta. John Travolta made more money outside of movies than he did inside the movie business, and nobody knows it. We talked about negotiating. I've interviewed Donald Trump. And not even talking about the politics, just talked about his business, his branding, marketing, sales, mindset. Like I have had the opportunity because of our platform and because of my willingness. You know, you got to be willing. You got to be looking for answers. You got to be looking for what your problems are. How do I solve my biggest problems? So I wrote a book, if you don't know, called The 10X Rule. It was written about 10 years ago. It became an international bestseller. It has been converted to audio programs, video programs, entire training educational platforms. It's used by some of the biggest companies in the world to figure out how do I 10X anything that I'm working on, whether it's your friends or your network, your marketing. 12 years ago, I had zero social following. I had no platforms. No one knew me. I was in one vertical. I was in one single vertical. This is 10 years ago. One vertical meaning an industry. I had a job, okay? I was calling on people. I was fired from 7 jobs before that, so it's not like I'm some kind of superstar guy. But I've always been committed to I need to get my money right, okay? 12 years ago, I had accumulated over a period of 20 years, keep this in mind, 20 years, about $2 million, maybe $2 million. That's all I had. And I know you're like, oh, that's all you had, man. I'd love to have $2 million. $2 million cannot protect you and your family. I want you to write this down, okay? You guys that are millionaires and you're like, I'm a millionaire, man, I'm good. That is so ridiculous. You got to change the way you think right now, okay? $1 million with inflation and with what's going on in the world, what's going on in the banks, what's going to go on in Wall Street here in a little bit, it's nothing, okay? In fact, when you say to yourself, man, I'm a millionaire, I'm so good, or I want to be a millionaire, do you understand $1 million weighs 22 pounds? Okay, you're basically saying a small Labrador, baby puppy Labrador, has got my future, okay? 22 pounds of paper in $100 bills is all that is. So first thing we got to do today is work on how you think. I'm going to be going over 5 major strategies that have helped me a bunch. One is this, the mind, the mental, okay? The mindset. What am I thinking about? I'm not talking about holla holla. You know, I'm not talking about okay, I'm just going to think big, okay? I'm not talking about that, okay? I'm talking about a mindset that is strapped with some strategies, okay? So it's not like the law of attraction. In fact, in the first mindset piece, and we'll go a little bit in this today, but we'll spend an entire day on this, giving you exercises. What is the date of that?
Today is the event?
Yeah.
Is the 28th?
28th of this month.
Yeah,
in 20 days. In 20 days, I'm going to spend an entire day literally scraping. It's not adding, okay? We're not going to add first. This is a man told me this when I was, 25, 26 years old. Bro, before I teach you anything, you got to get rid of what you know. What you know is in your way, okay? Like I was brought up not to market. I was brought up to fly under the radar. Lake Charles, Louisiana, everybody's very conservative, low key, hide it out, do your game, play your game. If you get lucky, don't tell anybody what you're making, don't talk about anything, don't dream big, bro. Because if you dream big, I was literally in a men's meeting at 26 years old and the guy says, the reason you're unhappy, Grant, is because your expectations are too high. If you would simply lower your expectations, how many of you heard this before? If you would lower your expectations, you would actually increase your happiness. And I'm like, so I need to think that I can do less in order to experience more happiness, okay? I'm like, I didn't buy that one. But I could have. I had a gentleman named Phil tell me at 45 years old, Grant, big is not better. Bigger is not better. Grant, I busted out because I got too big. So what I did was I started holding on to things. So first thing we got to do with your mental, man, is we got to get you thinking bigger, okay? The reason that guy, by the way, busted out, how many of you heard this before? Bigger's not better. Just throw it in the chat. Bigger's not better. Stay small, control it, manage it, keep your margins up, your profits up. Yeah, look how many people have heard that, okay? This guy busted out, not because he got too big, but because he didn't get bigger. Do you understand? He didn't scale. He didn't keep scaling. Okay, so number one, we got to fix this mental mindset. If you were brought up with scarcity thinking, small thinking, I was raised by a single mother. Okay, she was managing probably no more than 100 grand at any time. That's all she had to raise 5 kids. She was 48 years old. She had to manage 100 grand for the next, she died when she was 88, 40 years. How do you manage with no income? Zero. No income at all. Roofs are going to go bad. Cars are going to break. Tires are going to go flat. Siding's going to be fixed. Carpet's got to be replaced. Kids got to go to school. Tennis shoes. You name it, man. Kids got to go to a treatment center because he's got a drug problem. Like that's life happening, and life costs money. I was never after money because I wanted to be wear a big watch. I wanted money so that I didn't have to worry about money. I was literally trying to get out of this trap. And part of what trapped me was this mental mindset, okay? Second thing we're going to be talking about is your marketing. Okay? If you're thinking small, why would you market to anyone? Oh, you'll get a Facebook page like I did. First Facebook page I got was a personal page. I wasn't even thinking big. I'm like, oh, they got a 5,000 cap on a personal Facebook page. I'm like, I'm going to get 5,000 people. 5,000 people cannot help you, folks. I mean, I'm telling you, you guys that are running with 2,000, I had no marketing, zero marketing 12 years ago. None, zero. No Instagram, no Facebook, no TikTok. I didn't know anything about any of this stuff. No YouTube channel, no Twitter, nothing. A handful of people on planet Earth out of 7 billion people, maybe 30 or 40 people. Okay, you want to write this down. The amount of money you make, and this will be established today with our guest. The amount of money you make in your life is directly proportional to the number of people that know you. The amount of money that you will produce in your lifetime is directly proportional. This is marketing. Who knows you? Not who do you know. You know more people than know you. And that's a problem. And I was always taught, hey, make sure you know everybody in the community. Make sure you know them, you know their name. No. Make sure they know you. Okay? And I didn't understand that until I was, what, Jared? When did we start blowing this thing up?
2014.
14?
Yeah.
So
I had started leaning into
I had no
it,
social. Yeah. So any of you out there like, I'm not using social, I can't get any followers, I can't get engagement. I'm going to show you exactly how to 10x. If you got 5,000, how to turn that into 50,000. If you got 50,000, how to turn it into 5 million. Today we probably have 2.3 million people on Instagram. Is that what it is? 4.3 million, sorry. Okay. I got a couple million followers, subscribers on YouTube. All started with zero, none. It's not because I'm Grant Cardone either, by the way. None of those people knew I was Grant Cardone. And nobody knows you right now. What do we got? TikTok. Million on Twitter, which has been very, very difficult to build my Twitter account because I was literally shadow banned. Okay, so the marketing. I'm not talking about ads here. I'm talking about, and it could be ads, right? But it's going to be very, very important going forward. If you're a masseuse, you're doing PT, you're a doctor, dentist, chiropractor, you guys that are dependent upon the health system and healthcare, man, you're doomed. Okay, because you don't know if they're going to pay you or not. You can only sell what the government will check the mark of. Okay, we'll pay you for that prescription. But the people that are really making money in the health business are people that are in the cash business because they market to people that have money, not broke people. Okay, that's the other thing that I was doing. I was marketing. Such a mistake. Every time I do these, I have to go through all the mistakes I made. I mean, if I would, the chuckler over here is Jared Glant. Jared got with me what? Jared, when did you get with me?
2010.
Yeah, okay. Jared was making $2,000 a month working with me. We had 3 or 4 people here. Today there's 16 companies, 260 employees here, another couple hundred employees in Scottsdale. I got 16 million followers online. We got 400,000 people on a waiting list to invest with me at Cardone Capital. We sold $1 billion worth of products on the internet, raised another $1 billion, got $4 billion worth of real estate. Like, it's crazy once you get the right information, okay? So it's gonna go in this order. Number 1's mindset. And when I tell you guys all that stuff I've done, let me tell you something, I'm not bragging, okay? I got way more to do. Most of what I'm telling you is I'm complaining. I'm just telling you I've done that because I'm telling you today we're gonna unpack in the next couple hours how I did that. And then on May 28th, 20 days from now, we're going to unpack the whole thing and go deep. You know, I can only do so much right now. So congratulations to everybody that took advantage of the free offer, grantcardone.com/wealth. It's a $5,200 offer. I do it for $297. You hit a credit card for $297, then I'm gonna give you a full credit at my store so you virtually pay nothing, okay? I think we got a few spots left for the $250. Okay, third thing we're gonna talk about here is monetization. How do I monetize the marketing? Okay, because the more you monetize the marketing, first of all, the more the mind changes. Like, dang, I got $1 from a guy I didn't know. You know how important that money is? See, I'd rather get $1 from someone I didn't know than $100 from someone I do know. Why? Because I got a new client. I got a new guy. So we're going to show you how we break our inventory down so that when I do market, I can market to a massive, massive audience. And how do I take my little vertical? Okay, like I was in automotive. I was consulting car dealers when I was 30 years old. Mm-hmm. How do I take that data there, the information I have, and how do I start sliding over into other industries? So like today we're probably in 60 or 70 different industries, literally getting money from 60 or 70 different industry businesses. So when I talk about monetizing right here, I always get so excited doing this, okay? So first of all, I want a company paying me, not just individuals. I see a lot of people on the internet, you guys are so dependent upon broke people. Okay, there's 32 million small businesses in America. I have them as a major target. Okay, so this is also going to split up into this. Now money, okay, and tomorrow money. So I want some immediate money today, but I also want some subscription or long-term renewal money. Mm-hmm. Okay, renewal money is vital because it changes my mind about my business. This is going to be the most important thing the entire time. Even when I move through the 5 steps, I'm always trying to do stuff that makes me feel better about what I'm doing and gives me more enthusiasm and confidence to do more. See, the 10X thing is not about, I'm just going to go do 10 times more stuff. Okay, if you just wear yourself out on 10 things and you don't have any victories, 10 things will become 6 things, 6 things will become 4 things, and then 4 things will become 1 thing, and then you're just going to tap out and say, I hate this. And then you'll say something like this, you know, money doesn't make you happy anyway. And the guy that tells you that money won't make you happy has basically gone through that. I'm going to try a bunch of stuff, have no strategy. I'm going to effort, push, struggle. I'm going to get beat up. I'm getting beat up in the marketplace, and I'm getting beat up at home. How many of you are getting beat up at home right now? You're never home. When you come home, you're worn out. You're not spending any time with the kids, okay? You're getting hammered. And you're like, I'm losing everywhere. I'm losing in the marketplace. I'm losing at home. And so what, 10 becomes 6 things, 6 things become 3 things, 3 things, okay, I'm gonna quit doing so much, 1 thing, and now you don't have the bills to take your kids on a vacation, and now everybody hates your guts. Including you, by the way. You don't like you, okay? So when I'm marketing, I'm gonna go for companies for sure. Now, no matter what business you're in, I don't care what you sell, there is a company out there. I just did a coaching session with a guy yesterday. He's in the roofing business. He's doing $1 million a year. I put him on track to make $10 million this year, before the end of this year. I gave him literally, he spent $100,000 to spend an hour with me mapping out what he needs to do. Irv, great guy, by the way. Came in here, very humble. He's like, bro, where do you get your drive from? Where do you get this energy? Where do you get your mindset? How do you market to people? They don't know me. I'm in the roofing business. We just laid out the whole thing. How does he monetize along the way? He's in the roofing business where this is a very heavy business. He sprays foam on top of a roof, okay? And he's like, I don't know how I'm gonna do marketing on Instagram. I'm like, oh, bro, that's easy. I mean, I can make that look so good, it'd be unbelievable. Yeah. He's like, but how am I gonna find out I'm in a small market? So we literally mapped out the markets he could go get. He's in a $58 billion industry. I'm like, look, man, you're in a $58 billion industry making $1 million a year. You should be ashamed of yourself, okay? Like, come on, everybody, be ashamed of yourself. If you're in a market that does $58 billion every single year, and he's like, man, Grant, I came in here, I was proud of my $1 million. I said, you got to knock that off, okay? Because your mind is tricking you to think that you're doing good when you don't even exist in this industry. So literally, I'm like, look, we're going to do this. We're going to go 1 million to 10 million. And guys, you guys can get this with me. You don't have to spend $100,000 with me for an hour. It's crazy. I told him, I said, you need to come to this 3-day virtual event I'm doing. okay? You need to come to this and be at this the whole time. How do you come to this? You go to grantcardone.com/wealth, and we literally build out a plan over 3 days. Because 1 hour, you can't do a lot in 1 hour, 2 hours. You can give somebody a roadmap. This is the way you ought to go. This is what you ought to do, but he's going to leave here and have a million questions, okay? In 3 days, we can answer a million questions. All right, so he'll be there, by the way. Irv's going to be there. He's actually going to be in the room with us while we do it. There's spaces for 10 people to be in the room with us, and the rest of this is sent out virtual to you. It's super, super cool because I click a button every 20 minutes and put you into an exercise in a small group of people, and you actually get to start meeting people, and spreading your brand and actually getting known, okay? And you get to work on some of the exercises of, okay, what's my mindset? What's in my way? What was I trained and brought up to believe by my teacher or my priest or my mom or my dad? What did they teach me that is holding me back? That I can't actually think big enough? I can't even get outside the job. I can't even see the opportunity. Then how do I market to that opportunity once I have that? That's so easy today. It's unbelievable. It's free. It costs nothing. It's not regulated. You can literally do it across an entire spectrum of platforms that have spent billions and billions of dollars. I'm talking about all your social platforms, but there's also ad dollars, TV, radio, podcasts, so many different ways to do it. It's phenomenal, okay? So mindset, marketing, monetization. I need money while I'm going along, okay? So where am I going to go? I'm going to show you how to use companies. Then I'm going to show you how to use individuals. We're going to break the individuals down again, by the way. We're going to go now, right? And also tomorrow, residual to build in renewal money, okay? And then I want to start investing money in other platforms, okay? And I'll show you how to do all this today. I just want you to think like this, right? So in this process, okay, as I'm monetizing, I'm going to need financial intelligence. You want to write this down. The number one reason a business fails, the number one reason a business fails, okay, it gets a little complicated. If you Google it right now, it's going to say, oh, the number one reason a business fails is because they didn't have enough money. They didn't start with what's called seed capital. They were undercapitalized. That's not true. That is not why businesses fail. Businesses fail because they don't make sales fast enough. They don't do number three. They didn't monetize. If I monetize extremely fast, okay, see what happens is, like I made you guys that offer, okay, the free offer. You're like, why would you do that before you even, I hadn't even told you what's in the program, okay? Because I know, because I marketed this to enough people that I know there's enough bright people in this room that understand in a couple hours, you can get excited about something, but you don't go deep. So I'm going to make an offer to the entire room, to the entire audience.
And people overlook this. They think it has to be more complicated than that in their own business.
It's not complicated.
Yeah.
So why do I do that, okay? Because first of all, I need to believe in my offer. You need to believe in your offer, okay? You need to also understand that when people pay you, when they exchange with you, they're actually agreeing to have a relationship with you, okay? It actually completes a circle. Like this is the mindset of a great entrepreneur. We're going to have 3 of them on with you today that I'm going to do some Q&A with. One guy comes out of the AI space. Another guy I would say comes out more of the entertainment space, but I mean, I'm talking about massive scale, okay? And then another guy that is a little more regular, okay? That's going to show you the grunt and grind today of actually putting all this together. But the mindset thing, I'm always going to be looping back to this. These are not separate things that I'm showing you today, okay? The financial thing, okay? When I start monetizing, what happens? This is the greatest single, simplest, most misunderstood thing of all business, what I'm getting ready to give you right here. Okay, the biggest, simplest, most miraculous thing in business that is most or least understood, cash flow. How do I actually cash flow my businesses? Most of you don't know how to cash flow, like you weren't taught. Don't feel bad about it. Your husband and wife, and you guys have a joint account. You shouldn't have joint accounts. You should have separate accounts so people can be held accountable for the cash flow. Okay? Because one person might be reckless and the other person's very diligent, and the next thing you're not going to know, hey, where's the money going? Why is the money going out? So it's not about not trusting. My wife and I have separate accounts. I trust my wife implicitly. Okay? She's got access to everything. But I want our accounts to be separate so we can both have see what we're doing is working. Okay, and be accountable when it's not working. Do you understand? So I'm always going to be going back to the cash flow. Let's say I get $1 million in an account today. Now what happens? You were broke. You went from broke to $1 million. We monetized and we're on 3. This explains the lottery ticket phenomenon. The guy monetizes, went and bought a ticket, won the ticket, elated. Oh my God, you believe it? I can't believe I won it $1 million or $1 billion. It doesn't matter, okay? You won a bunch of money, right? Now what? Oh, shit. Oh, God dang. Now what do I do? What do I do now? What do I do now? Oh my God, okay? Now you got to start making decisions about how to manage the $1 million. That's why so many people say when they get $1 million that money didn't make them happy. It didn't make them happy because now they don't know what to do with this new thing, okay? Like when you have a baby, oh, what do I do now? Okay, or before that, you got somebody pregnant. It was fun right before that, and then she's like, hey, I'm pregnant. You're like, oh shit, what do I do now? Now you got a bunch of decisions to make. You don't know how to manage. Finance is about management, okay? It's about how do I manage something that I've been put in charge of, okay? How do I manage this coffee now that I have it? Well, I got to drink it before it goes cold, otherwise I'm going to throw it away. Then I got to get rid of the cup, and then it's going to be a trash can. The trash can's going to mount up. All this stuff requires responsibility. I spent 17 years in school, 5 years to get an accounting degree. And what I will teach you guys, May 28th, 29th, and 30th, April 28th, 20 days from now, what I will teach you on the second day about finance, you could go to Harvard, Yale, and MIT, UCLA, and throw in another one. McNeese State University, where I was.
Hey, McNeese.
And you ain't gonna learn what I'm gonna teach you
Lake
there.
Charles, Louisiana.
Okay? This is basically a wealth creation formula. It's this phenomenal way to start with some nothing. Okay? If you watch me on Undercover Billionaire, I built a $5.5 million business in 90 days during COVID with no money, no credit cards. Like, I don't know why you guys think you got to go use a credit card or why you got to borrow money. I had another coaching call this week. The lady wants to go borrow money to start a business that doesn't have any income. I'm like, you're crazy. Mm-hmm. You would never do that. She needs a job, by the way. She doesn't need to be starting a business that she doesn't know will even work, okay? And she certainly doesn't need to go start a business if she doesn't know about these 5 things and what's in her way. How are you going to market it? How are you going to monetize it? How are you going to manage the finances once you get them? When do you invest in other projects? How much money do you store? How much money do you save? How much money do you invest? When does your earned income, okay? One of the things that one of the goals for me, and this changed my life, was when I said, hey, I want my passive income. Passive income is money I'm not working for. I made a decision to do something, okay, to equal my earned income. So if I'm making $6,000 of earned income, your first target should be, I need $6,000 of passive income to equal $12,000. Okay, very, very difficult to do this, by the way. So when you guys are like, I need a second job. Why? Why do you need a second job? Well, I need some more money. I can't pay my rent. That is not the reason to go get a second job. I mean, it's a rent reason, but what's it going to do to your mindset? You're going to go do a second job. Watch what happens. You pick up another $300 or $400 at the second job. You're tired. You come home, you pay your rent. You're still broke. So what happens? See, you're back to this. Shit, this ain't worth it. And then you start figuring, you know what? I'm just going to move in with my mom. I'm going to quit my lease when it's up and I'm going to go back and live with mom. That'll solve my problems. Now what happens? Now you live with your mom again. Okay. And you're like, oh, my mindset's terrible. And your income keeps going down. So this thing, we can't get away from any of these 5 things that I'm going to be talking to you about. And the last one is number 5. I don't have room to write it up here. I probably do. I can get it in here. I'm going to sneak it in here. Scale. Now, I didn't learn about scale until about 7, 8, 9 years ago. I was just thinking about how to make money. And I was thinking about how to make money, not because I wanted a better, bigger car or a shiny ring or a watch or necklace for my wife. I was trying to get financial freedom, okay? Let me ask you, you guys in the chat, just throw down there. Why do you want more money? Why would you want more money? What is the reason to have more money? Freedom, freedom. Look at freedom, man. Legacy, freedom, freedom. Look at all the freedoms. Yeah. So then what does freedom mean, right? What does it mean to you that you would have
financial freedom. Arabelle Marquez, freedom. Rosalind, lifestyle. Else to get educated more. Josh, freedom.
Somebody said
a lot of people saying freedom.
Yeah, a lot of people saying assets. Okay, if I had more money, I could buy assets. So I'll just show you a little thing, and then we'll get. I'm not even into the meat yet, man. So I'm just showing you the overall 5 things we're looking for. You can't get away from these, and you can't argue with them. I mean, you can argue with them if you want to. You can't show me a business that doesn't do this. Okay. The business, the department, the division, the relationship, the husband and wife are going to be as healthy as their mindset. We don't have enough time. I never have enough time. Dude, well, you're going to keep having a time problem. Okay. Number 2, the 2 biggest problems people have in a relationship is time and money. I don't have time. I never get enough time with you. We don't have any time. We never have time with the kids. We never have time. I ain't got time. I don't have time. Yeah, and you don't have money either. Because if you have enough money, you'll have time. Like the people that have the most money have the most time. Why? Because they're paying everybody else. They're using money, not to have money. They're using money to buy the maid. Can I say maid? To buy the landscaper.
Housekeeper.
To buy the artificial grass rather than having real grass.
Yep.
We were at my house yesterday. I said, I will never have a real lawn again.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, unless I have a ranch or something. That artificial grass is ridiculous, man. It's always the same level. It
Real
never
green,
grows.
bright green.
No
mosquitoes,
mowing, no edging,
mosquitoes.
no mosquitoes, no mud. Like it's free, and it's always beautiful. Okay, but it takes money to buy artificial grass, right? So when you guys don't have time and money, to me, this is the deal right here: time and money. This is the 2 biggest complaints people have. Let me tell you why they have these 2 biggest complaints. A man told me once, he's like, Grant, the things you complain about are the things you don't use correctly. I said, excuse me? He's like, look, you're always complaining about you don't have time, you don't have money. I said, yeah, that's right. He's like, because, this sensei said, you don't invest time and money. At that time, I was probably 40, 41 years old. Had a coach. And the guy's like, look, man, you're making a lot of money and then you just save it. If you save money, what do you have to do with your time? In order to save the money, okay? Remember the guy that won the $1 million? The guy won $1 million. Now what's he worried about? I'm gonna buy a house for the mama. I'm gonna buy a house for myself. I'm gonna buy a car that I look good, and then you're out of money again. Oh, by the way, you owe $400,000 in taxes. They probably took that out, huh? They probably took it out. So, but he doesn't know how to manage this money, right? So, if I give you $1 million and you know how to manage the million, okay, and you went and bought, let's say, a $5 million business that produced another $500,000 a year in income, that should be what the guy did. He invested $1 million in a business that's worth $5 million, that pays him another $500,000 a year, that pays all his expenses and gives him time. Okay, so he starts buying the maid. Somebody washes his car. Okay, he starts investing money in advertising so that more people know him. Okay, so at some point in the future, the money should get him more time if he knows how to manage his finances and if he knows how to scale. Mm-hmm. Let's say he took this $500,000 and he got an assistant, he got a COO, he got somebody to do his books for him, okay, and he bought some people that did marketing. Now watch what happens now. Let's say he spends the entire $500,000 in this new business to hire a sales team and put in some procedures. Okay, now he was keeping all the money for himself. He had $500,000 coming to himself. He got $1 million over here, $1 million score, and he took the money because he had confidence in himself, in his ability to monetize, to market, to scale, to manage, to be financially prudent. Because he had that confidence, he invested in a second business over here rather than getting a second job. He had a job. He got some money. and boom, dumped it into some real estate or dumped it into another business or became a partner in something, and this thing kicks off 500 grand a year, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna keep my 500. This is what I was doing. Okay, I got a good job, I make a lot of money, and then I have this other $40,000 a month coming in. I'm like, oh, I'm good. But I was saving all this. Why was I saving it? Because I didn't know how to market, I didn't know how to monetize, and I didn't know how to scale. And then somebody said, dude, you don't need this money. Okay, what you need is the time. Take the money, give it to these people to run another business or to make this business better. Invest the entire 500. Let's say it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say I'm making just for
200 grand a person.
What? What do you mean?
Oh, you only got 500 grand. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not going to pay. I don't have to pay them all 200. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I got 500 grand. I give the entire 500,000 to these people. They should produce something more than what this company was producing. Right? And even if they didn't, check this out. I'm not doing it. They are. Okay? So I'm going to ask you guys this question right now. I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Okay? These are to find out where you're thinking right now. Would you rather the 500 grand and do the work, or would you rather give the 500 grand to somebody else and have them do the work? Keep in mind, this is the second flow here. This is not the first flow. You already got your first flow going. You're not walking away from your first flow. You're doing whatever you're doing. Okay? You're making $125,000 a year or $80,000 a year. You came into some money. And now I'm going to invest that money or I'm going to keep it. My mama kept it. Because my mama didn't know how to scale, she didn't know how to market, she didn't know how to monetize, she did not know these principles about how to build something. If I gave you the 500 grand of new income, would you keep it for yourself, okay? Or would you share it with others? Would you rather the money or would you rather your time? Now, the right answer clearly is what?
People.
But you won't do it if you have the wrong mental mindset. Okay, if you have money problems start right here. I make $1 million, I spend $1 million. That is a degenerate. I'm gonna sit down and gamble at a blackjack table. I got $100 and I'm gonna spend $500. You're a degenerate. You got a money problem. Now, on the other side of that degenerate is the guy that never spends any money. He's a miser. He's got $1 million and will never spend a penny. He splits dinners with everybody, okay? He has a party and says, bring your own bottle, bring your own chicken, we'll have a barbecue. Like, he's cheap. The reason he's cheap, and I'm telling you from personal experience, I was cheap for 45 years of my life. I'm so frugal. I still err on the side of like, I don't know if I should do this. Like dumb shit, like stuff that doesn't even matter.
You buy all your clothes on sale. He won't buy any clothes. If it's not on sale, he won't buy it.
Yeah, so I'm just a very frugal person, right? Why? Because I came up from a money scarcity. My mom grew up in the Great Depression, and she told me stories over and over and over again. Well, I've been waiting for a Great Depression for 50 years, and it hadn't happened. Might be around the corner, though.
Yeah.
It could be coming right now. I'm a little worried right now. But anyway, I'm being conservative. Why? Because I don't have confidence. I don't have confidence in my game plan. Now, I'm going to bring 2 people in here today. And Jared probably has more confidence than I do, actually, to be honest with you. Okay? So you got to get yourself, if you suffer from scarcity, if you grew up in scarcity the way I did, okay? Just put in the link, put in the chat, scarcity. Money doesn't grow on trees. Penny saved is a penny earned. Look at this, man, okay? We can't afford that. Every time you went to the store, Mama, can I have this? Can't afford that. Hey, Mama, can we get this? Can't have that, okay? Okay, Jared, what do you tell your kids right now? What's that thing you say to them?
I don't care.
I don't care. Jared tells his kid. The kid's like, blah, 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 blah. I don't care, Jared says. So what are the kids starting to say? I don't care, Papa. Yeah. Okay? So I can't afford it. We can't afford it. We can't have it. It's too much. We don't need it. You're going to not use it. All those things that your kids, that you as a kid were told, we can't afford it. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. I can't do it. We can't do it. It's not time. All those things get ingrained into you as an adult. when you go and manage your business, okay? Now, I have the disease. Some of you don't seem to have it, but it looks like most of the room does. The two people I'm gonna bring in today, I'm gonna be asking them, bro, how'd you get this money mindset? Second question, okay? Would you rather the money or would you rather the time? Understanding, by the way, when I spend the 500, when I invest the 500, I should get more money, which would get me more what? Would actually create more time. Mm-hmm. Now, the quality of time you have is really in question. Okay, is the time in depression or is the time with friends that you love on the back of a yacht off the coast of France? Again, we're going to go back to what now? Dude, what do I deserve? Okay, what do I deserve? What does me and my wife deserve? What are the memories I'm going to want to have with my children? Okay, are they a Vail on a skiing, and we're having a great time? You know, what is it? What experience are you guys having? You don't need to spend money, by the way, to have a great time. You could go camping up in the redwoods at Big Sur. One of the best trips I ever had in my life. Didn't cost anything, but it did cost me time.
Yeah.
And I had to get there, by the way, and I still had to eat, and we got to be safe and all that, right? So you understand what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the money so much as the loop of confidence. Okay, we can do this. If you've ever been on a trip, the trip, your dream trip, you went to Aruba or you went to Hawaii or you went to Dubai.
Mykonos.
The Mykonos. Okay, and you're like, I cannot wait to do this trip. But every time you look at the cost of the hotel while you're booking the trip, you're like, oh my God. Oh, I got to bring a nanny. Oh my God, maybe we shouldn't bring the nanny. Okay, that's not a fun trip right now. You're literally destroying your trip. Why? Because of the limitation, the mindset, the problems, the scarcity thinking. I don't have enough money to do this. And you might actually, it might not be time for you to take this trip. When do you actually get to have this score and do your thing? Johnny, what are you playing? You playing a video? So when do you get to do the stuff that you deserve to do? Okay, if you've ever suffered planning a trip and suffered before the trip while you're booking the rooms, you know what I'm talking about. You looked at the hotel, you went to the little thing, the hotel finder. I always start at the most expensive hotels and then go down. Okay, where's the best deal? Where's the best deal? You start at the Four Seasons. You know that's where you want to stay, and you compromise yourself and say, "No, I'm staying at the Holiday Inn."
The Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn, man. Breakfast is for free. Eat as much as you want. Or you go down to Mexico and you go do one of those, what do they call it?
All-inclusive, yeah.
All-inclusive. I hate the all-inclusive. Food's bad. Drinks are terrible. Okay? All right? So, second question I have for you. And this is regarding the marketing. I probably shouldn't get ahead of myself. But write this question down. Because again, this is money mindset. This is all about how you think. This is what held me back for 45 years of my career. If I would have known what I'm sharing with you guys on what month are we in? April?
April.
I don't even know what month. April, 20 days from now. Yeah. Okay, 20 days from now, it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yep. Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to show you exactly what I did to go from being worth $2 million to being worth hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. From having one little tiny beat up business and I'm working 300 days of the year, literally not even enjoying my weekends, to having as much time as I want of. Okay, having 16 companies. Anybody can do what I've done. Anybody, I believe that. Like anybody said, oh, you think anybody can do what you've done? 1,000%, I don't care what you know, where you've been, what you've been through. You've been in jail. You have no money, no credit, beat up completely. If you learned what I learned in the last just 10 years, okay, here's the question. Would you rather 1 million friends or $1 million? You have 5 seconds to make your decision and you will get either 1 million friends or $1 million. Okay, be honest. Be honest. I'm telling you, I'm going to give you $1 million right now. 22 pounds of $100 bills. I love the stack. And nothing looks better than some bricks. Right? Huh?
He's here.
Okay. Which one would you rather have? Okay? Because the right answer is the right answer is this, but most people would not take this. Literally, if I put $1 million in front of you right now and I said 1 million friends, most of you would take the $1 million. You would make the mistake. If I convert just 5% of these people to a $100 product, how much would that be?
2 zeros on the back end.
$5 million.
10 million.
If I convert 5% of 1 million people to a $100 product, that'd be $5 million. If I took 2% of the entire group and converted them to a $100 product every month, okay, that would be 2,000 times 1,200. That'd be another, what? How much is that?
2%.
$100 is $2 million. 20,000 times $100.
$2 million a month.
Yeah.
That's $29 million. 1 million people. If I only converted 5% of them to 100 and 2% of them to 100 a month, I'd make a $29 million score. That is why I'm telling you guys, that's the scaling and the mindset. These 5 things are hung together. If you want to take advantage of this 3 days with me, this is about to close off on the freebie thing. GrantCardone.com/wealth. It's $5,200. You literally pay $297 today on a credit card. I'm gonna give you a $297 credit at my store. I think they got about 6 or 7 spaces left. Take advantage of that. And what I want to do right now, since I got you started, I got you thinking big. If you're thinking bigger right now, put in the chat what's your takeaway. What have you heard in the first, 40 minutes?
Yeah. 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you heard that
That you liked, that you loved.
Yeah. The thing, not the overall thing, right? Like the thing you need. Okay, what is the thing you need right now so that you can be the player you deserve to be? Who's got my money, man? This is a who game, folks. This is always about who. And since we're talking about who, okay, I want to bring my first guest in, okay? This guy is a technology and AI creator, co-founder and former VP engineer of Siri and Vive Labs. You guys got Siri at your house. Phenomenal human being, okay? He's a big speaker around the world. You may have heard that Siri was acquired by Apple for what? $1 billion?
They didn't. It's not published.
Oh, it's not?
But it's
they
hundreds
never
of millions.
said how much?
Yeah, it's not a public thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get it out of him.
Yeah, I'll probably get it out of him. But hey, I'm really proud, very excited to bring Adam Cheyer onto our program today. Adam, great to have you here.
Hey Grant, good to be here.
Where are you today?
I'm in Oakland, California.
Okay. You guys holding on to that city, man? You're not gonna let it go off the edge, are you?
No, it's actually a jewel. You know, I think in business you want to find something where the value is underappreciated. I think that's Oakland. We have redwood trees. We have a lake in the center of the city. There are zoos, there are observatories. It's a great place. Has a bad rap sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes deservedly, but we love it here.
Well, let's just start there, Adam. What I just heard you say is, hey, always find something undervalued. Like, is that what you look for in businesses? Like, you're looking for something where people don't see some underlying value?
Yeah, I like to look for something that others don't see, to have an advantage. And I think if everyone is running like a stampede one direction, I'm not going to win that race. I want to find what is everyone missing and run there. And when I think of what I've done well in business, it's I've identified things that will be important, and I get on the front of that wave and ride it out. So I've done a number of companies, but I like to say there were no voice assistants before Siri. There were a lot of them afterwards, right? Google Assistant, Alexa, everything came in. I was the founding member and first developer at change.org, the world's largest petition platform. We have more than 500 million members.
Wow.
And there were no social networks for social change before change.org, 2006. There were plenty afterwards.
So let me ask you on the petition.org.
Change.org.
Change.org. Okay, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for your time here on a Saturday to share with so many people are in here looking for a way to break through and find the next thing. How did you think about change.org? What made you think about that? And then how did you monetize it?
So yeah, so that's a good question. So in general, I look at what I talk about, I call trends and triggers. I try to predict the future. I make predictions about where the future is going. And I do the research, but early. And I say, I believe this. And anyone can do it. Take anything in any industry, something that's not quite mainstream yet, but is a question. So in my industry, like technology, say the metaverse, right? Facebook renamed their company to Meta because they think the metaverse is going to be big, but it's not big yet. We're not in the metaverse. Well, kind of. We're on Zoom. But like, there's a question. It's not mainstream yet. Is it going to go or not? Cryptocurrency, is it going to replace money or not? These are things that haven't happened yet, but could have big impact if they did. So I do research and make a prediction. I believe in this or I don't believe in this. And I carry those beliefs with me. And when I see what I call a trigger moment that confirms the belief, I know it's now time to act and catch that wave. So let me give you an example. When the iPhone came out, and I know people don't remember this, most people said, oh no, it's going to fail. Telephones are complicated. It's too hard. Apple just makes this little music player. I had predicted that the iPhone would come. And when I saw it, I'm like, it is here. This is the trigger moment. 2 years from now, every handset manufacturer, telco will be desperate to compete with Apple because Apple has just flipped the game with their smartphones. But there are problems with it. The screen is small, the bandwidth was slow, and it's hard to type. So if I said, how can you address those? I said, if you could just talk to your phone in one request, no typing needed, that would be the perfect thing to compete with the smartphone, to one up the smartphone. So I had a prediction that I was waiting. I saw a trigger moment that said, oh, it's now here. And that let me see the world 2 years from now. And I said, I'm going to build for that. And that kind of pattern is something I've done with change.org. The trigger moment, I predicted in 2004, social networks are going to go mainstream. In 2004, this was not the case. Facebook didn't exist. LinkedIn, but it was niche. And in 2006, I saw MySpace become the #1 most trafficked website in the US. Music social network, but everyone got in. I'm like, okay, it is time, it is now. Let's start change.org. And over time, you were talking about scale. We really went first for growth, right? And literally we were doubling. Once it took a few years to get it going, but we went from 1 million users to 10 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 100 million. And now we're over half members. So optimized for growth. We needed money to be able to sustain ourselves. Now, this was not a business whose goal was to make the most money. But even a nonprofit, so to speak, needs to make
money.
Profit.
It
needs to make profit. But you just don't distribute it to your shareholders. So we were going for, with change.org, we were going for impact. How can we stay afloat? How can we keep growing our member base? How can we offer value to them? And how can we monetize enough to stay afloat, right? To keep going. For 15 years, 17 years, change.org has been going. I'm very proud that it got to self-sustaining. It grew the member base, and every single day there are victories that are made, meaning people who had a real need in the world started a petition, got a couple 100,000 people to join them, and made this thing come true. Every day, every hour, probably getting close to every minute. So impact was what we went for in that business.
So Adam, how did you monetize like the first parts? Or is it out of your own pocket? Is it friends and family? Is it Or you got some kind of
So
ad out, huh?
So early on, it was, it was mostly a nonprofit like thing. So early on, it was friends and family. It was me and a bunch of friends. We were doing it as a side job. But selling and getting people to believe in your vision was important. So think about the domain name change.org. I don't know how much it would be worth today, but let's say like, I don't know, $250,000 or something like that. We did such a good job convincing the person who owned the domain name change.org that we were going to do something important. We had a vision. We were going to take this in the world. He gave us the domain name change.org and $100,000. I go, that is selling, like that. Right. So we had to ragtag, no one was coming in really to make a ton of money.
Yeah.
On this venture. But man, we had to do all those things of selling, scaling, be able to keep this afloat, over the years. Find a business model.
Yeah, Adam, do you know how you create your belief that you can do this? Because it's not just you believe in it, but you got to go to mom, dad, uncle, aunt, brothers, friends, and say, hey, not only do I believe in it, but you need to put your money. How do you stay have the conviction to believe that you're right about this thing that you've identified as the next thing?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I do have a mindset. I have a philosophy and a mindset. It starts with the time on earth is the most precious thing. It is short, and my goal is to maximize, and everyone's goal should be to maximize this beautiful gift we have just to be here. And the question is, how do you do that? Right? And sometimes maximize the moment we have on this earth. Sometimes it's about money. Sometimes you need to make money. Sometimes that's not what's the most important thing. If you don't have money, that becomes really important. If you don't have enough. But if you have enough, sometimes you need to say, this is what's important. I need to be more creative in my work. It's a burning desire. At one time, I wanted to fall in love. Could I feel love? Is it real? That became an important question for me to answer. So at each phase in my life, I try to stay true on what's important, authentic to myself. I make a goal, and then I tell everyone I meet, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to do X. And by using the words, by starting with a core truth for yourself, this is what I need at this moment of my life to maximize my time here on earth. You put this out in words and you tell everyone you meet, I'm going to do this, even if you have no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
And I believe the power of confidently asserting, I will achieve. And you have to verbally say it to people. And by telling people, even if internally you have doubt, you start to believe it, they start to believe it, and it's cyclical. And then it comes true. You're like, man, this worked. Let me do it again. What's the next most important thing I need to do now? So that's part of my process, my mindset, and how I convince myself, how I convince others. But it starts with finding out what is truly core for you at this point. What is it really about? Not what they're telling you, what society says, what your mom says. What do you need? And then I'm going to get it. I'm going to do it. And then there's this, people start to help you. People start to believe.
They start to buy in. They start to buy into.
Yeah.
So now, like when you're doing this, like you said, hey, you knew the next thing. Like you have trends. Like I have this intuition. Okay, mine tend to take a very long time to be right, though.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
How often are you so early?
So I am often super early, but I carry them around as beliefs, as predictions, and I wait. I have predictions that I made, almost 20 years ago that haven't come true, but I still believe in them. It's just the world's not ready yet. So take Siri as an example. My first version of Siri was in 1993, before I saw a web browser. I said, this was a time before the web, Everyone
What's wrong
only
with
had
you,
to
man?
compute.
What's wrong with you? Something's wrong with
No,
you.
it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
No, but I believed in it. I said at the time we had to load up computers with like floppy disk drives and CD-ROMs and all this. You could only compute using what you had on your desk. I said, that doesn't make sense. Someday there'll be computers around the world with content on them and services that we'll want to access. And we'll need a way to interact, to discover this content and services and interact with it. I thought everyone would have an assistant and you could just say, I want to know this or I want to do that, and it would help you do it, right? Help know where everything was. So then the web browser came along and part of the vision came true, but I still always carried this belief that being able to just say, I want to know this or I want to do that was a better way to do it. And as I said, I carried it along. I worked on it. I built version after version. I did 50 versions of Siri before the one that you know and love ever showed up on the iPhone. And what I did right was commercially, I started it at the right time, right? If I had started it any time earlier, would have probably been too early. If I started it any time later, it wouldn't have succeeded either. I timed it using my predictions, my beliefs, and looking for the trigger moment when now is the time.
So what percentage of your time is spent on research then? Like you've mentioned research a number of times. How do I do that? Like I'm a heavy real estate guy, and so I'm making predictions about where real estate goes. I believe that we become a renter's market and that people will no longer be able to afford homes and that these big apartment complexes become a solution, people living in communities. But where would you go, where do you go to do your research?
Yeah, well, first you have to identify a question that you're not sure will happen. Maybe it'll happen or maybe it won't. Maybe, like you said, in real estate, maybe people can't afford homes. We're all going to go to this type of thing. Or maybe it's like, I believe people feel disconnected. Maybe real estate communities that feel a little bit more like college will become a thing.
Yeah.
Where you interact more with people. Today, they live in houses, they go in and out of their houses. They don't even talk to their neighbor, right? Whatever it is, you're going to see some idea or insight and say, this could come true or maybe not. And you do the research. How do you do the research? You talk to people, you read things. I'm in technology. I looked at analyst reports and what the pundits would say yes, and some pundits would say no. And I just kind of took a critical eye and said, what do I believe? What do I need to test? What do I need to try? What's required to make this come true, this thing? And when will I know that we've just hit an inflection point that's going to hit us this way fast?
Yeah, that's your trigger.
And if you're looking for that inflection point, when you see it, you'll know. And others might see the same event, whatever it is, MySpace becoming popular, the iPhone coming out. They don't know what to do because they haven't been planning for it, waiting for it, looking for it. But so that's my thing is I get an idea it's not sure. I do enough work to talk to people, to research, hear what people are saying, learn about the topic. I say, how will I know where it's time? How will I know it's time? What trigger moment am I looking for? And when I see it, I act. I got off my butt. I said, it is time to start a company called Siri. Little startup, 3 co-founders, diving in, taking all these little side project prototypes I had built over the years. I said, now it's time to build a real one because this is going to be valuable 2 years from now. And I was right. And the funny thing was with Siri, in the Siri case, I built Siri for the competitors. What did I think everyone who's not Apple will need? That's what I built Siri for. And the irony is Steve Jobs saw it first. He recognized what it was and came in strong to say, we want you to be at Apple.
You talked earlier when you came on about, everybody going in one direction, like a trend becomes this, everybody's doing it. We're every day we're hearing about AI. Is it too late there? Is it everybody's already doing it? What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So we always have there's always these little technical trends that pop up, is NFT the big thing, is whatever, Bitcoin, crypto, whatever it's going to be, blockchain. Right now, something has happened in the last 4 months that I think will be as important as the web and as important as the smartphone. And again, as part of my predictions, I literally 10 years ago gave a date. I said between 2020 and 2022, a conversational assistant is going to emerge that will become as foundational for every consumer and every business as the web or mobile. And I had a reason for it. If you look at the trends, I call it, I know you have 10X as a watch phrase. I use the phrase 10 plus. I say every 10 plus years, something big changes. So in 1984, roughly, the mouse and the GUI came out, and we had graphical interfaces, and the PC landed it on everyone's desk, and everyone had to learn what is a computer. 10 plus, so 11 years later, roughly, the web comes out, and now we can compute with data on other people's computers, but we had to learn web browsers, etc. 10 plus, meaning now 12 years later, around 2007, 2008, smartphone emerges. So I'm like 10 plus, so this time 13, because it's slightly slower, a new paradigm will emerge. So around 2021, and I said it will be a conversational assistant. And I started companies to kind of help make that come true. 4 months ago, something called ChatGPT arrived. I had been waiting for it, watching it, talking with researchers for 5 years, and reading the papers. I understand the technology. I've seen the applications. It still melted my mind. And even though I had predicted it, was waiting for it, was watching it evolve, it's important. So that's this first thing, is that I believe what just happened 4 months ago is akin to the internet and the web showing up.
Wow.
And I believe the next 10 years, 10 plus years, so next 13 years, will be dominated by figuring out what this means and how to use it, especially in business. So when the web came out, remember those crusty old web pages that were coming? There were people like Jeff Bezos who said, this internet thing, I'm going to try selling books. Well, it worked out pretty well for him, right? And people were trying to figure out, it evolved and figure out, how do I play? What does this do for me? How do I use it? What can it do? What does it do? It was a huge value creation for society during this time. I believe, and literally what happened 4 months ago, so November 30th, with the release of ChatGPT, it's going to define our next 10 years. I believe businesses who embrace it early are going to have a huge advantage.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely something.
So let's talk about
think is important.
Yeah. How does ChatGPT, let's say, affect the person that works for a company, both in their job providing value for that company and or in their free time working from home to produce additional income? How would they use that today?
So what I would first, maybe not everyone is familiar with it. It's the fastest adopted technology in history. So they got their first 1 million users in 5 days, and they got their first 100 million users in less than 2 months. If you put it up against any other technology in the world, nothing comes close. Nothing comes close. But there's still a lot of people out there who don't know what it is and how to use it. First, let's say what is now ChatGPT's a product by a company called OpenAI, but there are many of them.
Right.
Google has something called Bard,
There's video AI, there's audio AI,
Right. So there's a class of them, but at its core, it's like a text box you can type to. You can ask a question. You can paste in text.
I play with it every day, man.
And it will come out and give you an answer. So for those who don't know what it is, so you're like, okay, it's a text messaging thing, a chatbot. How would I use it? for business, at home, for anything. Well, what's different about ChatGPT is one, it has an enormous amount of knowledge. They've trained this thing on massive amounts of text. And the thing that shocked me, even though I'm in the field and helped define the field, is its level of understanding like a human would what it's learned. When it responds, it's not just spitting out pretty words. It really seems to understand the nuance of what you're asking and to consider that. And it knows how the world works, which is different than any software I've ever seen before. So that's kind of what it is and why it's shocking, even to an AI expert like myself. So how can it be used? I would say, how do you use a computer in your business? So many different ways. You're going to send emails. You're going to write marketing campaigns. You're going to have databases of people for leads. You're going to, everything that you do with a computer, I think can be accelerated with this technology. If you're a businessman, you need a strategy. You need a business name. You need to put together what idea are you going to work on? How are you going to execute? What's your plan? How do you manage your finances? How do you recruit customers? How do you hire employees? I believe this technology will 10x, to use your piece, or more, everything that you do. And I have a friend, Mike, who is just starting a business. He's an incredible guy. He's got unique skills, but he's never started his own business before. I said, have you heard of this thing called ChatGPT? Because he was asking me questions. I don't know, what's a business plan? How do I write a business plan? How do I put together a pitch deck? I go, let's bring this up. I typed, help me write a business plan for a business that is, and then I described his idea. Boom. He was like, oh my God, that's incredible.
Yeah.
He goes, well, should I use an LLC or an S corporation and why?
Wow.
I typed it in. It gave a reasoned, balanced answer. He's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He goes, what should I call this business? Give me 30 new names for this brand new business. Here are 30 names.
Yeah.
Design a logo for me. He started going, I want to have a space. He goes, what colors are most appealing to the target audience I'm looking for? He was starting to use this for every piece. And now it's important to know it's not always right. So let's get into the technology.
But it gets you thinking. It gets you thinking.
But as a brainstorming tool,
So
it is phenomenal.
So Adam, and I've been playing with it, right? So I'm aware of how important it is to understand how to ask the right questions. So when you think about people, a lot of the people watching right now are thinking about starting a business. Maybe they have a startup, or maybe they're working from some other place, and they're trying to figure out how to add more value with the job they're at. When you're telling Mike, your friend, about a business, if Mike would ask you, hey, what's more important, marketing or sales? What would you tell Mike if he wasn't going to ask ChatGPT and he's going to ask you?
For me, you're the business guy. I'm the tech guy. So you'd have a better understanding of it. I would say it depends on what phase of your business it is, right? In my view, first you need to get a product. You need something that's going to offer value. Then you need to be able to let people know this product exists, right? And so that's got to be marketing. You need to spread the message of what is it, when do I use it, why is it better? But then if you're spending money to market and you can't convert, you can't monetize,
right?
You're hosed, because you're and you have to make sure that every person who comes in isn't costing you more than you're making, right? You can shoot yourself in the foot by marketing like crazy, bringing them in. They're using this service, which takes server time or whatever resources or assets you have. If you're not monetizing at that right phase, you're digging a ditch.
And then in line with that, where would you put financial intelligence?
It's essential, right?
Yeah.
And I caught some of the end of what you were talking about. You need to be able to manage your books. You need to know where can you take your risks and what risks are you taking? Where can you, obviously, when to borrow money if you need to, but you need to know what that's going to bring back and when, right? So being able to have that experience, I think, is essential. Things like ChatGPT can even help you in these ways, but I'd love to at some point talk about some of the failings, some of the cautions of the AI. So for me,
of AI.
Yeah.
Well, are you worried about it? I know Elon's worried about it.
Well, let me. There's are we worried about it on a big scale? Like, is it going to take over the world?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that in a bit. But I just want to.
What?
He said, let's talk about that one in a minute.
Yeah, in a minute. Well, we'll talk about whether.
Let me just say this. First of all, I didn't know, like when you just said to me, Grant, I'll leave the business stuff up to you. I'm really a tech guy. You don't present like that. You present very much like a very comfortable marketing, sales. Like you're the perfect sales robot. Like you would be the perfect because you're very. I look like a sales guy. I'm mocked up like I'm coming after you. Like you have this very comfortable appearance. Like you raising money, you talking to your friends about, hey, put some money in, the guy giving you $100,000, and nobody would do that with me. So like when you said, hey, I'm not the business guy, I'm the tech guy. You really do. Very comfortable, easy to talk to. I see you as a sales and marketing guy, like a much better version than myself.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment. I'm not sure it is. I prefer. I often say, and this might be useful for your entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah.
I say there are 4 skills that are required to start a business in a founding team. And it doesn't mean you need 4 people. One person can have multiple skills, but for me, these are the 4 skills you need. Number 1, you need a visionary. You need someone who can think big, see the long, big picture, right? Who knows why we're doing it, where we're going. You need a visionary. You need a marketeer. You need someone to spread that message, right? Who can communicate to investors, to customers,
is that
to potential employees.
That's a separate category?
It's a separate skill.
Yeah,
could be the same person, but not every visionary is a great communicator.
Right, got it.
Right? Not every communicator knows the vision. So vision,
right.
Communication or marketing,
Yeah.
marketeer.
Yeah.
You need a product person who can say, yeah, that's a great long-term vision, but we need to break this down into steps. What are we doing first? Where are we trying to get to first? What are we doing second and why? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of prioritization. Like it's a different skill to have, someday we'll talk to computers and we'll do everything. Okay, good.
Operations.
What's step one?
Yeah.
And then for me, the 4th skill is the builder. The person take the roadmap from the product person and say, I will execute and deliver this on time and on budget. And so when you should figure out which ones are you good at, which ones are you great at, and you need to surround yourself, be looking for the complementary skill set in your founding team. So I'm pretty good on the marketing side. At Siri, our CEO was better than me. He could sell a story and he believed it and he could communicate it beautifully. I'm pretty good at it. He was better. I think I'm pretty good at having the vision, knowing what we should go after. And I'm pretty good at building that first version prototype that I can say, let me not just tell you this, let me show it to you. You can poke at it and try. It's not the finished version, but here it is. And with those 2 things, I can lead an engineering team to get the real version built and scaled for millions of people, right? So that's my skill set. I'm not the best product person who breaks down every step. So I see myself as visionary, builder, to a point and able to lead the building team. And I'm pretty good on the marketing.
And where do you see the finances working into those four? The visionary, marketeer, product, and builder. Where would you see finances? Who's responsible for that?
That's an essential component. Maybe it's actually a fifth piece. But for me, the core of the founding team, you have to know what you're going to build, why, how you're going to get there, and you need a team who can deliver it. And on top of that, yes, you need operations, you need finance, you need some legal, you need a bunch of people who are really watching, making sure that you're doing the right things in these areas. But the core value of the idea, like, should you build this new real estate community that's going to do that? For me, that's the core of the business. Maybe but you need the finances, you need these things, but that's the core of starting a business, the core founding team. You have to know what you want to build, why, where it's going, how you're going to get there, and you need a team who can say, I can deliver this.
Man, this has been great, Adam. Let me ask you a couple more questions before I let you go. How important is sales to you, in your mind?
Again, if you look at the companies I've done, I've largely focused on the vision and the technology. So I'm not the sales guy. That was Doug, our CEO. And I sold my business to Apple and then let them do the selling. I sold a business to Samsung. I'm probably the only entrepreneur who sold pretty much the same vision to both Apple and Samsung and got them Siri's on more than 2 billion devices. My AI for Samsung is on 400 million devices. But I didn't do the sales, right?
But but you did sell it.
We did sell it. Absolutely. So
oh my God, you're so dangerous.
One sale. I had one customer.
I'm Rambo, and you're that other creature in the jungle. What was the predator? You're the predator. I'm Rambo.
Yeah. So sales is important. If you can't convince someone to pay their hard-earned cash for the value that your service is, there's no business there.
How important is the ability for the idea, whatever the idea is, mowing lawns or popsicles, or to scale? And for somebody to go in understanding, do you see scale as an option or it's a mandatory?
It depends what you're going for. So as I started out saying, you have to do what's important for you. Like, maybe I'm a model train guy and I love model trains. I can start a model train business or whatever it is and be happy. Is my goal to dominate the world? No, I just want to sit with my trains, make enough money to be profitable and sustain myself, and I'm happy. I think that's a perfectly good business for me, right? Yeah. For some people. Some people, the things you're talking about, if you really want to change the world, and when I start a business now, I used to say, what can one person do to change anything? The big difference between me now and me at 35 was I'm like, of course I can impact 1 billion users. If I'm not trying to impact 1 billion users, what am I even doing? I'm wasting my time, right? So those are two completely different mindsets. I think both are valuable.
Well, one's selfish and one is unselfish. Which one do you think, which of those do you think?
They're not.
Don't think?
They're both selfish. And I believe.
Oh, interesting.
I believe everyone should be selfish.
Interesting.
Selfish for themselves. You are here. It's your life. Yeah. You want to make the most of your life. No one can tell you what you should do and what the values are for your life. But if I want to impact 1 billion people, maybe it's not for the money, not because it's for something. Maybe it's for good. Maybe it's I want to be
like, if you want to affect that many people, though, it seems unselfish to me.
Not necessarily. I mean, it's selfish. I always feel I have a selfish view. Yeah. You have to listen to your needs first.
I love that.
And so you can be unselfish, meaning of course you want to make the world better in everything you do, but you should only do it if that's true to yourself. And that's selfish,
Yeah.
in my view.
If you're taking a business, if your goal is to take a business public at some point, how important is scaling and finance?
Essential. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're not designing the business to scale from the get-go, you're not going to get there. Not every business can scale. Yeah. Not every business that has the potential to scale will get there. So absolutely, finance and thinking about scale from the get-go is mandatory if you're going to succeed along that goal.
And then the last question, how important, man, I really appreciate your time. This has been a phenomenal, great job.
Thank you.
Right? How important is the people you're hanging with and you're learning and studying?
So that's, for me, that's it. And I think entrepreneurship, being your own business, is the best job in the world, right? You need a few things. You need an idea, the right idea at the right time. You need co-founders with the right skills. You need to sell someone to give you that starting money so you can get started. But once you do it, you're working on an idea you're passionate about with people you love, that you've hired, that you want to work with and learn from. And, in a way, you buy a lottery ticket. If you're successful, you can have Steve Jobs, like he did with me, he called us up unannounced saying, hey, want to come over to my house tomorrow? I'd like to buy your company, right? It's like, oh my gosh, there's a lottery ticket.
That is crazy.
So I think entrepreneurship is the best. When you look back, it's almost always about the culture and the people you worked with and the fun you had. Not every business succeeds. But if you're doing something you care about with people you love and want to work with, it's going to be rewarding along the way anyway.
Hey, man, I've taken 3 pages of notes. We do these big conferences, by the way. I'd love to have you speak at one of our conferences.
I would be delighted. I would absolutely be delighted.
Yeah, this has been very inspirational to me. I've taken a lot away from this, and I appreciate you spending your time on a Saturday to do it. I'm pulling for Oakland to make the big undervalued proof to America that you're a great city. And anything I can ever do for you, please reach out to me, all right?
Yeah, thank you so much, Grant. It's been
Thanks, Adam.
Wow, that was good. That was a great job, Jared. Great job. Everybody give Jared a big hand for getting Adam here. And then if you like that, put in the, what's your takeaway from Adam?
Lots of great comments.
I mean, an engineer that's inspirational. He's got to change his bio to the most inspiring engineer, technology guy in the world. That was awesome, man. Okay. All right. So, this is what I'm telling you guys. I can interview 1,000 people. They all basically start breaking this thing down to give me, this guy does not have a scarcity complex. He's talking about 1 billion people.
Well, isn't that wild? He's like, I'm thinking now, like, I know I can have the potential to get to 1 billion devices.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. But he also talked about money being important.
Yeah.
He said the train, the guy that wants to sell the train track, that's fine. He can do that. But at some point,
if you make enough money
to fund the activities in your life and the hardships and the problems and the recessions and the moments and the inflation, those are all the things you can't really plan on. When you're a visionary and you're building a business, you're not thinking about somebody stealing your stuff, or the lawsuit that happens, or the insurance, or the storm that hits, the cost of eggs going up. I mean, the train track guy, all of a sudden he's got to send his kid to a private school, or his grandmother has got dementia and she needs $10,000 a month to be in a home. Those are the things that unfortunately happen in real life that derail people from doing what they want to do.
What's crazy too is how he was saying, hey, like I predicted, 10 years ago that there would be this new thing of AI.
Yeah.
What do you think about 10 years from now? Like people haven't even figured out what this AI thing actually means. Like we've talked about it a lot for business, but I think when we're going back to the things you were talking about before, getting these underlying pieces, like what is your money strategy, your marketing strategy, your sales strategy, your scale strategy, because you have to have the underlying foundation in order to actually stack the technology on top of it to make it work.
And this is what he talked about. He's like, hey, you got to have an idea. The idea's got to have confidence behind it, right? So you got to have confidence behind the idea. And this is what I was saying. And now, how do you do that? I mean, I could have spent the whole 45 minutes just talking to it, but how do you do that? Because you can't get Chat GPT to do that for you.
Yeah.
This is a spiritual moment right here. Like, how do I get this idea to have enough confidence? Well, the first thing I would do is I would monetize it as fast as possible. This is what the breakdown with him is like, he had an idea. He went to somebody, they said, yeah, not only do I believe in your idea, I'll give you the URL for it. What was that called? That was
Change.org.
Change.org. I'll give you and I'm gonna give you $100,000. Well, hey, shit, that's a lot of confidence right there. That's where the money comes in. And the distance, and this is what we're gonna be talking about, May 28th, 29th, and 3rd, not May, April, this month. I don't know why I'm in May. This month, 20 days from now, guys, I'm gonna literally show you how to have an idea. And yeah, you can have some spiritual confidence about it. Oh, like, rah, rah, I believe in this idea. I know it's gonna happen, but the speed at which it happens, okay? If this is one day or 10 years, the confidence, if you could monetize on day one, okay, Jared, you tracking me on this?
Yeah.
If you could monetize on day one, as opposed to monetizing 10 years from now, which one is gonna give you more confidence?
Yeah.
I'd rather have $1 in a minute after my idea than $1 million 10 years from now. Because if I get the $1 right now, bang, I'm gonna be like, okay, I can do this, okay? So, yeah, I don't know what the target is. So my target right now is like, I wanna monetize. When I get an idea, I wanna monetize that idea as fast as humanly possible, either through investors, fundraising, sponsors, partners, supporters, bringing new people on, okay? Like, I want to be able to figure out, okay, how can I and you, how can you have an idea? You want to take the nurse thing, zeal on massages, okay? The order a massage, and I'm like, okay, I want to order an IV for 10X Health Systems. I want to create that system. The speed at which I could monetize this, like how fast could I move that? Well, Grant, it's going to take a year to build the app, or 6 months to build the app, or 3 months to build the app. Okay, but that doesn't mean that I got to wait to build the app that I couldn't monetize before I build it. So what I want to do is I want to move speed to market as fast as possible and get money, and then I want to start building this. Now, we're going to spend a whole day, okay, guys, a whole day. What is it, May 28, 29? No, April, in 20 days. The second day, the first day is this. It's the mental. Okay, clearly you can see this guy, Adam, he's a freak. Okay, come on, he's a freak of nature. I need that freak of nature. Probably because he lives over there in Oakland. He's very, very close to Silicon Valley. He's very close to people that, like Mark Zuckerberg, when he sold Facebook, one of the requirements is you got to move to Silicon Valley. Why? They want him dropped into this mindset where the thinking is so massive. Money is not a problem anymore. You got to get yourself, number one, out of this money scarcity, folks. Okay, everyone that's ever made it on planet Earth, including what we're celebrating this weekend at Easter, Jesus had to leave where he lived to go to a new environment to actually market his message. Okay, so you got to be willing to move into another, have so much confidence you're willing to leave your comfort zone. If you're taking notes, you want to write this down. You have the idea, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to create wealth, I'm going to meet 1 billion people, I'm going to change the world, I'm going to solve all the water problems, okay? I'm going to get rid of all the vaccines on the planet, whatever your thing is. I'm going to save the planets, I'm going to bring back all the trees, whatever the deal is. You have an idea? How fast can you move to monetizing that idea? And big ideas take a lot of money. Okay, small ideas with inflation even take a lot of money today. Like, I just want to feed my kids. Okay, well, good, but price of everything is going up. What if you lose your job? You were dependent upon this one job and you lost it. Now you can't feed your kids. So what's your big idea? Your big idea is, I just want financial freedom, man. I don't want to change the world. I'm not going to take care of all the rainforest, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to develop the next aviation. I just want financial freedom for myself, my wife, my kids, my mom. Forgot about my mom. Oh, forgot about my dad. Oh, forgot about my 2 uncles, man, that took care of me when I was coming up. What about all those people? What about the teacher that you went to school with that made a difference in your life? Or what about the neighbor next door that's had hard times, or some nephew that goes off to war and comes back and maybe lost something? How can you now help those people? Because financial freedom, as your financial freedom expands, your ideas about helping others requires you to monetize again. Okay? Adam said, "Hey man, even if it's a nonprofit,
yep,
it still requires profit so that you can continue to grow the nonprofit." All right? So that's why they go to Silicon Valley, okay? That's why so many people come to our offices. That's why so many people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars with me to sit down with me and say, "Bro, how do you think? How do you stay so freaking inspired and jacked and driven? Like, how do you keep this on a Saturday afternoon? Why are you even doing this?" Okay? Because I know what I'm trying to do, and I have confidence that I can actually change the world. Okay? How do I do that? Okay, well, I have an idea, and then I need to build out products and services. You guys need more products and services. The number one biggest mistake we see with companies that come, people that pay us $400,000 and $500,000 a year, even percentages of their profits. They're like, "Here, we'll give you 20%
equity,
to help me grow equity in their company." Okay, they all have too few products and services. I've never had anybody that had too many offers in their platform. Okay. So I see a lot of people asking about today's offer. Speaking of that, okay, it's grantcardone.com/wealth. Okay, what it is this: 3 days with me. Okay, now we're going to give you something today when you literally register. Okay, mindset, wealth creation, marketing, sales, and scale. You cannot get away from these 5 things. We're going to give you 2 programs to start today. Okay, first you're going to get the 10 principles guaranteed to 10x your wealth creation. I'm going to give you this, guarantee you, I'm going to show you how to 10x your wealth creation. You're thinking about $1 million, I'm going to show you how to get to 10. You're thinking about 10, I'll show you how to get to 100. You're thinking about how to get to 10,000 customers, I'm going to show you how to get to 100,000. Okay? You can change the customers, friends, money, products, services, whatever. Okay? If you want to figure out how to get 10,000 customers, I'm going to show you how to get to 100,000. I'm going to build that out. Okay? I'm going to give you what's called the Business Builder Certification course. You get that today, and you get the 10X Financial Freedom course today to prep you. That's 65 hours of content between now and 20 days from now. And then May 28th, Johnny?
We're also going to send them this box.
Hang on. On May 28th, I'm going to come to your phone. Back to me, Johnny. On May 28th, I'm going to deliver to your...
April.
I'm sorry, April 28th, 20 days from right now. Okay, get my mind right. April 28th, okay, I'm going to come to your phone, your tablet, or your computer. No travel required. No hotels needed. You literally go to your office, okay, go to your room, and I'm going to deliver to you over 3 days these 3 points, okay? Number 1, the mindset. Do not underestimate this thing right here, okay? This thing will be with you wherever you go, no matter how much you learn, ChatGPT, the future of AI, no matter what happens in the world, recessions, wars, whatever, baby, you're carrying your mind with you everywhere. Through the divorce, at the wedding aisle, with the kids, when you're getting some money, when you're not getting money, when you're getting rejected, okay, when you hit the barriers, all that. Money mindset. Number 2 thing, we're going to talk about financial. We're going to move the financial piece up. I'm going to teach you financial literacy like you don't know it, okay? There's one thing I am a genius at, it is money. I know how to get money, I know how to keep money, and I know how to multiply money. And I know how to get money, keep money, and multiply money without actually borrowing money. I don't have to borrow money to do that, and I do not need to give shares of my company away to do that. I've been very, very successful at doing that from 0 to, I don't know, we've done $1 billion to, I don't know, maybe $4 billion of production, maybe 6, crazy. We've done $1 billion of sales over the internet. We raised $1 billion. The
Just the privately held companies are probably worth $3 to $4 billion, and the real estate's worth another $4 billion. So I can show you how to do this and not go bankrupt and not be stressed out and not lose your mind and not rip anybody off, by the way. In a world where everybody's getting ripped off, we paid $4.5 million to our investors last month, $50 million last year, okay? Third thing now, okay? Now, what am I gonna do now? I gotta market my message. Adam talked about marketing the message. Who is the marketeer? I love that. Who's the marketeer? Who's the visionary? And then who's the marketeer? See, this is really the visionary right here is what he was talking about. I like that word better, by the way. We should change that.
Visionary?
It's the vision, man. What's your vision? Yeah. If you're the dad in the house or the wife in the house or the kid, who's the visionary in your home? Who's the visionary that holds the vision, what your life could be like? Not what it is today, okay? Fourth thing we're going to talk about is how to monetize. We're going to spend a whole day on how to monetize the marketing. And then last thing is, on day 3, how do I scale to 10x levels? So you're doing $1 million. How do you do $10 million? Okay, we go through a workbook that looks like this. We'll go through this entire workbook. Okay.
We send it out in the box.
Your workbook gets mailed out today. Okay. It goes out in this box. Johnny, I don't know if you can pan out and show them this. Okay. It goes out in this box right here. We have some other little gifts for you.
Hat, planner.
A 10X planner, a hat. Okay. Take advantage of this, guys. This is the offer. Okay. It's $5,200. If you bought everything separately online, you can get it for $297 today. Do we want to extend the
credit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should.
This is what I'm going to do for you, okay? I'm going to make it impossible for you not to do this. I'll send this out. You get the book, the 3 days, and the 2 starter packages, 10X Financial Freedom today, 10X Financial Freedom, it's right here, and the Business Builder Program right here, okay? You'll get both of those to start today. As soon as you click the link, we'll literally download it to you. We'll include those for free. It's $5,200. I'll do it for $297, and I'll give you a credit at our store for $297. You can use it against anything, any of our educational products in our store.
Yep.
Okay. Any of our future events. We do 100 events a year, physical, in-session, classroom style. Events, okay? You could use it against a 10X Growth Conference ticket. You could use it against a boot camp, a sales workshop, financial literacy, the 10X 360. You name it, we do it. If you want to apply it to that, you can. All right? Okay. GrantCardone.com/wealth. GrantCardone.com/wealth. Okay. I want to share with you, for all of you that just want to get some information today, I want to be sure I give you enough value here. Okay. I'm going to share with you some of the things that are going to become problematic to you. I asked Adam, hey, bro, like, how important is finance? He's an engineer. Guy's a builder. He's a tech guy. He's like, man, like, if you don't have the finances, you don't have the finances. I said, how important is scaling? He's like, well, if you don't scale, nobody's going to buy your company. So the fact that you guys like, I don't need all that stuff. If you're going to go public one day or you're going to try to exit your business one day, you have to build something that has finances, okay? If you don't understand finances, and why would you? Most people cannot even tell me what the definition of an economy is. Or you can't explain to me what inflation is. Okay? But it's because we were educated, most of us have been educated by people that never had money. So the myths would be what? Man, money's hard to get. That's a myth, okay? Okay, you want to write these down. These might be some myths that you have right now that could be limiting you for money, okay? Money's hard, okay? Money's hard. Okay, 2, it's complicated. Actually, it's very simple. All this stuff you're hearing right now with the banks, dude, they make it complicated. Okay? So watch. If I have money in my account, if I have deposits in my account today, in my bank, if you got any ideas, let me know. I got money in my account today, that is an asset to me. Okay? Okay? That asset in my bank, it's at the bank. For the bank, that is a liability. Okay? This is, oh man, God dang, you already lost me, man. How can it be an asset to you and a liability to them? Because they owe me that money. Okay, now if I go buy this building right here and I put debt on it, check this out. This is how whack the financial system is. The building, okay, is an asset to me with a liability to the lender, whatever the difference is between the value of the building and what I owe them is my asset. On their books, the fact that I owe them money for this building is an asset, which is whacked. Okay. They take my deposits that are a liability to them and lend them out to other people that become assets to them. And the building that I own a loan on, that's an asset to them too. So it becomes very confusing and people start glazing over and they don't understand finance. We're going to show you how simple this finance thing is. Finance is simply as, it's simple. I'm going to show you a financial statement. I'm going to spend a day with you on finances that will change your life forever. It will literally get rid of and debug all these ideas you have about money that says it's complicated. Okay, 3, you believe that saving is your way to wealth. Okay, this includes everybody that is trying to pay down their house, 401ks, IRAs, any of you guys that have, it was April that was the problem. You have a 401k, an IRA, you're paying down your wealth. You've been listening to Dave Ramsey. Dave's telling you get rid of your debt, which you don't need a bunch of stupid debt on cars and watches and clothes. That's stupid, okay? I agree with that. But saving is not the 3 months, 6 months, and 9 months. You do not need 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months of savings. If you could replace that with passive income, this is my savings account, okay? I don't have an IRA. Okay, I have passive income coming in every month whether I work or not. I could die and that passive income will keep dropping in. Okay, but if you believe, like most of us, save your money. Save your money for a rainy day. Okay, you got money in a wall somewhere, Johnny. You got money in your bed. You got money in a vault at your house. Okay, you got I got to have a little cash around just in case. Oh, I'm going to start saving. I got 3 months or 4 months of saving. I got to save for the wedding. You know why you got to save for the wedding? Because you don't believe in your ability to get new income to pay for your wedding. So guess what's going to happen? You're going to pay for your wedding out of your savings and end up at zero again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to zero. I'm going to take my savings and invest all of it, 100% of it. I don't have enough time. Yeah. I don't have enough time to tell you, I need about 4 hours to show you my plan here, okay? I take all my savings and I dump into assets. Basically, it provides me with savings and I never have any savings. I don't want savings. None. Now, I need to get your wife on the same page with me. I need to get your husband on the same page. I need to get your treasury person in your company on the same page. Well, I'm not going to have any money. No, you're going to have enough money for operations. But the income from your operations should be able to fund your future expansion, okay? Number 4, all debt is bad debt. These are money myths. I'm just giving you a list. This is a short list. There's probably another 20 on this list. All debt is bad debt. Actually, that's not true, okay? And if you look at some of the most successful companies on planet Earth, including Adam mentioning Apple and Amazon, they have debt. They use debt. Even when they have cash, they still use debt. Number 5, diversify your investments, okay? Steve Jobs had 2 investments when he died. 2. Pixel? Was it Pixel? What was it? Pixar and Apple. I don't know how many Adam has, okay? But most people that create true wealth, the Rockefeller family, okay? They created all their wealth in one investment platform, and then they expanded once they created wealth. So most of you are trying to diversify before you actually create the wealth, okay? Those are some money myths, okay? I'm bringing in another guest. I want to share some marketing myths with you real quick, some mistakes you guys might...
25 minutes,
huh?
Just to mention it.
Oh, we got time, right? Okay, yeah, okay. Because the next guy I bring in here is going to rock you away. Yeah. Time might be the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Could be.
Yeah. So number 2 might be that because okay. Thank you for telling me that. Marketing mistakes. And this is what Adam was talking about. Also, I'm going to be bringing a guy in a few minutes. You will know his name when I bring him in. Freaking genius. When I mention the name of this company, there's no one watching right now that will not know it. Imagine becoming that powerful. Your
creating
name,
that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
The name Jesus is mentioned. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you're a Jew, Jewish, or you're a Muslim, or you're atheist, agnostic, Christian. You know his name, man. LeBron. Boom, you know his name. Michael Jordan, you know his name. Tom Brady, you know his name. Beyonce, you know his name. Grant Cardone. If you didn't know my name, shame on me. Shame on me. It's my fault. Okay, you want to write this down. It is your responsibility that people know your name. It is not their job to know your name. I had a guy come up to me recently. Man, you remember me, man? No, actually, I don't. Man, I met you, bro. I don't remember you. It's not my job to remember you. Okay? Okay, you want to write this down. Who knows you? Who knows you is more important probably than any other single thing. Who knows you and who's thinking about you and who remembers you. Okay? You're failing. You will fail to the degree that the number of people that know or don't know you. To the degree that you succeed will be to the degree people know you. Okay? And the more they know you, the more they can trust you. People do not trust people they don't know. Trust is not more important than know. I got to know you. By the way, I'm not looking for people to like me. I'm looking for people to know me, okay? Marketing myths, okay? Mistakes. Number one, you're staying small too long. You're staying home, okay? You're staying private. Your private Facebook account, ridiculous, okay? You're staying small. You're not thinking big enough, okay? I don't need everybody to know me, man. I'm a word of mouth, okay? This is a mistake. These are mistakes, okay? Word of mouth advertising. It's costing you guys millions of dollars a month. Forget millions of dollars. It's millions of dollars a month because you use word of mouth. Number two, you're staying too small too long. Too small. Oh, I'm going to cater to a boutique. You stay too long, too small, too long. Okay? Nobody knows small. Okay, I went to a small place. Nobody pays attention to things that are small. They pay attention to things that are big and things that can scale. That's why I was surprised when I said to Adam,
Yeah.
Do you think you have to scale? I think if he's watching right now, I challenge you to reconsider that thing. Because if you don't scale, you'll be small. And if you're small, nobody pays attention to you. Okay, number three, you don't prioritize attention. Attention, getting attention. For any business, any entity, for a promotion, if you're not getting attention, you're getting overlooked. I'm sure you had the experience of somebody just not paying attention to you. You offered the best service, you did the best job, you worked your ass off, you showed up early, you stayed late, and they promoted somebody else. Why? Well, they promoted the daughter. Okay, well, why? Because the daughter gets more attention than you get. That's why. It's not because she was better. Okay? Number four. You refuse to invest in the brand. What is your brand? And why do you refuse to spend money? I know I did this for years. I didn't spend money on the brand. Why not? Because I was scared of money. I didn't know that I could have an idea and monetize the idea and then just circulate this concept, okay? Next one, you ignore and disregard all your social media platforms. These social platforms they're powerhouses. The Facebook, the Instagram, you're like, Grant, I don't ignore it. Yeah, you are ignoring it. You're ignoring your comments. You're ignoring your haters, okay? You're blocking them. Why would you want to block a hater, okay? You're not on one platform because you don't think anybody's there. Gulfstream, that I bought a plane from, they don't have anybody working their social because they don't think their buyers are on social media. The place where I live on Sunny Isles, that condo building right there, they failed to sell the entire building out, partly because they believed that their clients were not on social media. And the reality is I moved in their building and clearly I'm on social media, okay? Next one is you view marketing as an expense, okay? And it's not. That's not an expense. You're going to expense it you're going to write it off for tax purposes. But the truth is, investing in your marketing is an investment, not an expense. Any more than people are, by the way. Okay? So, watch. This is what you want to do, right? I got an idea. I got an idea for a business. And this business is going to make $1 million a year. Okay? The speed at which you could monetize that and actually collect
$10,000, $20,000, $100,000. The speed at which you could accomplish this. Would you guys agree? Throw it in the chat. The speed at which you could go from an idea, hey, I'm going to start a babysitting business. I'm going to start a nanny business. Or I'm going to start a homeschool. The speed at which you could get that monetized. I'm not talking about delivering a product. The speed at which you could actually get that monetized would give you tremendous confidence. Okay? Because remember, you got to keep believing in this idea. If you don't keep believing in this idea, being the visionary, selling the idea to other people, it's going to quit getting marketed. The speed at which you can monetize would allow you to market more. Okay? The more you market, guess what? The more money you're going to make. Which means I can deliver more products, more services, and do a better job. Okay? This is where I'm going to start delivering. This is where I pick up my referrals, build my business from delivery. People are really happy with me. And now what can I do? I can expand and scale my business. This is what we're going to be teaching in 20 days. Starting today, by the way. Okay, today I'm going to give you the Business Builder Certification Program. Okay, you get certification on both these programs, and the 10X Financial Program to set you up so that 20 days from now, I'm going to go into a studio. I'm going to be surrounded by all these cameras, okay, and I'm actually going to have one-on-one time with you and your team.
Have Johnny play video real quick.
Show it, Johnny. Show them what we do. Show them what I do on this event.
If you guys want to do 10 million or 100 million or a billion, this is your weekend.
I've already grown from 0 to 20 million in the past 3.5 years.
Was making about $6,000 a month. A year later, I'm making $30,000 a month.
We went from $3 million in annuity sales to $30 million.
3 months, our front-end sales have gone up 581.7%.
It's already increased our sales by at least 20% in 1 week. So if you're not here, you're missing out.
It's the money that provides you freedom, and that's what this workshop taught me, is how to go get more money.
Since I've been working with Grant, my business has increased on average 30% per month.
I've been to 20 events in the last year with Grant Cardone, and this by far has been the best event. Very interactive, very engaging, and I made more in 1 week, $7,500, more than I made in 3 months combined at my last place.
This actually helped me increase my revenue by 25%. Within a year.
Investors are better than customers because people that invest in you will become customers, they'll become advocates, and they'll talk about your company more than a customer will.
So the question is, do you want to 10X your business? Do you want to 10X your 2023? Guys, I could open my phone right now and tell you about 1,000 problems that are going on with the economy right now. This is what's going to happen this year, just so you guys are paying attention to the main thing. We have unemployment supposedly at all-time lows. They're half of what the actual numbers are. Everybody watching right now knows somebody is out of work. 10,000 baby boomers are retiring from the workforce every single day. They're not counted in the jobs numbers. Okay, number two. You have credit card income, credit card debt at the highest levels in history. Why is that? Because people aren't making enough money. It's not because they got too much credit card debt, okay? Credit is not your problem. The ability to earn new income is the problem. We have more people earning money at home today than ever in the history of the world. At record numbers beyond anything, okay? Three, we got inflation problems in the marketplace. Bananas are costing more money. You guys paying attention to this? We got inflation. Cost of goods are going up, but you didn't inflate your dreams. You didn't inflate your goals. You got to get your goals to be higher than the cost of goods that you have to purchase for your family, okay? So we got unemployment numbers. We got inflation problems. We got war problems. You got China and Russia doing a deal, Saudi and Iran doing deals. You got Israel throwing bombs at Lebanon this weekend. We're spending $130 billion in Ukraine.
Commercial debt just bang, bang.
Okay,
bang.
You got commercial debt. You got banks going out and like, what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to save my money. Save it where? You guys got money in banks. The bank might not even be safe. Look, the number one investment in life is you. The best I've ever invested in, single best investment I've ever made in my life. I was 25 years old. I spent $3,000 on a training program. This is a true story, okay? I spent $3,000. I was a young salesman. I hated sales. I was terrible at it, okay? But I needed money. And you know, it's kind of when you hit the end of the road, like when you hit bottom, you're like, okay, well, what else can I do? Nothing. I didn't have a B plan, C plan. Nobody else would hire me. So I'm like, I got to get good at this job. Otherwise, I didn't have a job. So I borrowed $3,000 from my mom. I put it on a credit card, and I said, Mom, I'm gonna pay you back. I'm gonna pay you back in 6 months. Okay? I'll pay you $500 a month. I have to do this. I can't. If I don't earn more money, I'm gonna die. Okay? So please, I said, please lend me the money. She put it on a credit card. True story. This was on a Tuesday. I bought this program. The program would not be there. This is many, many years ago. It's hard for you guys to believe, but the program wouldn't probably get there for 8 or 9 days because they had to mail it out. Okay, and it would take forever. I won't get it for 9 days. This is insane, okay? Young salesman, I don't know anything, but I made my first commitment. I'm like, I got to become a businessman. I didn't have a business. I need to become a businessman inside this business. And I made a commitment. Put $3,000 on the card. And there was no internet. There was no place to search it, or you couldn't learn online, none of that, okay? And I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, okay? Okay, it was, I think, a Tuesday. I bought this thing, okay? On Friday, I made $3,000. The following Friday, I had made more money in 3 days than I had made previously selling in a month. It was the first time. And I don't know whether it was my commitment or I started paying more attention because I had this commitment. I knew this thing was coming. It was coming, and I was going to get it, and I was going to get better. And I'm like starting to pay attention to the sales cycle and the customer and the objections. I started writing stuff down. Until you commit, nothing changes. Nothing in your life is going to change, okay? Now, I got the program 9 days later. I went from being the worst salesman where I worked to the top 1% in the country in an industry that had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of salespeople. I was in a small place in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I become the top 1% of all the salesperson in this entire industry nationwide. And more importantly, because of that one investment of $3,000, I found my career. Okay? Would end up writing books on sales. I would end up becoming one of probably the most, I mean, if you pull up a list of top 10 sales coaches in the world, top 10 sales coaches in the world. Am I on that list?
I found this on the web.
Oh! World's top 30 sales professionals 2023. I'm not top in the world. I'm number 1.
Mr. Grant Cardone.
Look at this. This is Global Gurus. I don't even know what this is. Okay? Now I just want to bring you guys back. 25 years old, I hated the game. 25 years old, I hated the game. I invested $3,000 of my mom's money, paid my mom back in 30 days. Before she even had interest on the card, I was able to pay her back. So this is what I want to do for you guys that are committed. Anybody that's committed, okay? I'm going to make this so easy for you. I'm going to give you our entire offer, okay? You just got to spend 3 days with me. I'm going to give you the entire offer. I'm going to include the 2 programs you start with today, okay? You need about 14 days to complete that. If you just give me about 1 hour a day for the next 14 days, and then on the 20th day, okay, so if you missed a day or two, we got you covered. On the 20th day, I'm going to basically give you assignments every day for the next 19 days. On the 20th day, we're going to go live, and I'm going to deliver a virtual live
event
training to you to walk you through money mindset, financial literacy, sales, monetization, inventory, offers, building out your business. We're literally going to lay this out over 3 days. It's not going to be me talking at you for 3 days. It's going to be me working with you one-on-one to build your business out, okay? It's a $5,200 offer. I'm going to do it for $297, and I'll give you credit at my store for the $297 like I offered earlier, okay? I'll still give you the store credit, and, okay, we go live on the 28th, 29th, 30th.
Yep.
If on May 1st you're not happy, just call up and we'll send you your money back. Okay, money back guarantee. It's a no-brainer. Okay, grantcardone.com/wealth. grantcardone.com/wealth. And what I want to do is take some questions right now while we wait for our next guest to come in. Let me know when he's here, okay, Jared?
Okay, you got it.
Because when you guys start scaling this idea out, right? You know, when I started making, I remember going from $3,000 a month. That's what I was making. I was actually making about $2,500 a month. And then I started making $5,500 a month. Every month after I bought that program. Okay, and that was a lot of money to me. So I was making, you understand, I was making 30 grand a year here. Because I learned something, I started making 36,000 more than I used to make. And this is when I started making moves. I did not improve the quality of my life with this 36,000. I invested this in assets. At 28 years old, I started buying real estate. I started dumping all my extra earnings in real estate, and I would stay broke all the time. I was living off of 30 grand a year. I was investing 36,000 a year. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. 10 years later, I had millions of dollars invested in assets over here. More than that, actually. Okay? And I'm still doing this old job over here selling. But I had my sales job I'm getting better at. I get so good at it, I become a consultant for the entire industry. I stay broke all the time. I'll spend a day with you and your spouse and your team, showing you guys how to stay, how your financial literacy, your financial plan should actually motivate you and create confidence to do the sales, the marketing, the scaling that you need to do so you can create financial freedom, okay? All right, we're gonna spend one entire day just on sales mistakes you're making. What mistakes are you making? You making an incoming call, outbound call, cold call? How about on your marketing? How are you responding to the marketing? The marketing should set up the sales call. Okay, let me answer some of these questions. Grant always has new stuff. People, you can learn something new and also need to learn every day. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Cynthia. Okay. Loads of mistakes. Loads of mistakes. I need. I can't read this distance to all these.
Somebody needs to find questions. Find the questions in the chat. I know. Somebody else needs to do it. Get up and do it.
Whoa.
Everybody's sitting around.
Can you give us a link to the store? Yeah. Yeah, I can do it. I can see them now, Jared.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. grantcardone.com/wealth. If you're committed to your wealth creation, where do you want to go? What's your idea to get there? This is what Jared and I do. We come up with an idea. Hey, we got a program. We got a target. We got a target for something. We want to do a anything program. We're going to do the anything program. Okay. What's the anything program? What's the purpose? What's the vision of the anything program? The anything program is going to be, we want 50,000 people. Okay, I want to add 50,000 people to my Instagram, or I want to add 50,000 people to my customer base, or I want to add 50,000 investors to Cardone Capital. It's an idea. Okay, what did that idea cost me? Nothing. That's what a business is, folks. A business is basically an idea, okay? The speed at which you can deliver or start moving toward that idea without spending any money, by the way. I don't have to spend money to get to the idea. This is what's wrong with college. Okay, my kids want a good job. Okay, well, okay, let's go to 5 years of school to do that. That's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I got an idea. That's why you got so many kids today on YouTube making money. What did Beast make this year on YouTube? 50 million?
Probably 100.
50 million?
Probably no.
Hundreds.
150, yeah.
You know. So what did he do? He had an idea, built out a channel, provides a bunch of entertainment, okay? Challenges, gives people a bunch of things to get involved with, and then he gets eyeballs. So first thing we got to do is we got to have this vision. You guys know your vision? What's your vision? Where do you want to go? Grant, I want to create $1 million of income per year. All right, good. Now, what most of you do is you go build a product first. I wouldn't do that. This is what I would do. I would do, okay, how many different ways can I get $1 million? $1 million divided by 365 is $2,700 a day, $27.93 a day, divided by 24 hours, $114 an hour. Okay, well, divided by 60 minutes, it's $1.90 a minute. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna back into this $1 million, okay? Hey, I wanna make $1 million a year. I don't have a job. I'm in jail, okay? We might end up having a president that gets elected from jail. So he ain't gonna keep him from it. The guy's gonna be in jail in an orange suit, and he's gonna be like, I'm still gonna win, okay? Yeah. Might be easier for him, by the way. Get more attention like that. So if you're committed to your wealth creation, to freedom, to financial freedom, you're gonna figure a way out. I don't need to figure out a product first. Okay, I don't need to build a box yet. I don't need to even like it. I need to do numbers. This is all ideas are achieved with numbers, okay? Not figure. So basically I'm gonna say, okay, I wanna make $1 million a year. This is what, $2,700 a day? This is by the hour, this is by the minute, okay? Now, how can I get $1.90 a minute? Any ideas, Jared, who would give me $1.90 in the next 60 seconds? Just throw it in the chat if you give me a minute. $1.90. Look how many people right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Say it with me, Jared.
Yeah.
You're all over the place.
No, I'm with you.
Not really.
I'm with you.
So watch. Now I'm like, okay, how many people can I get to give me $1.90? Oh, wow, I don't know any people, man. So what's the most important thing now? I got an idea. Next most important thing, I got to market to an audience. Okay? Okay, I need 1 million people to give me I need how many people to give me? I need 1 million people to give me $1. One time. 1 million people give me $1, one time. Okay, well, I got to market. How many people do I need to market to do that? I don't know. You might need, what, 50 million people, Jared? What do you think?
Yeah, probably.
Probably need 50 million people. 2% of them will give me $1 one time. Now, why am I telling you this? Okay, because most of you guys are out there figuring out the engineering and the building and the service and the cost of it and the mechanics. You're so stuck in the mechanics, you never do anything. You get bogged down in the doing rather than in, no, who is going to give me this? Okay, it goes like this: idea. Number one, idea. Second thing is marketing. Third thing is monetization. Fourth thing is the scaling. Okay? That is the simplicity of a business. Now, if you're going to do something like AI, okay, I got an idea. Okay, I got an idea. Oh, I'm going to build the next chat GPT because everybody's going to jump on that. Okay, or I'm going to build the next blockchain, or I'm going to build the next ice cream, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, keep going.
What time?
Almost.
And so how do I do that? Oh God, I got to hire some engineers. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. No, why don't you just figure out how to start funding this idea? The Millionaire booklet. Do we have a copy of the Millionaire booklet? Yeah. Okay. I had this booklet. I wrote this book one night. Before I wrote the book, I'd already sold hundreds and hundreds of copies.
Somebody was just asking, I'm getting ready to start a business. Should I pre-sell it?
Yeah.
Pre-sell my offer.
You should always pre-sell the offer. This book, had no idea what it was going to look like. I didn't know how many words it would be. This little simple book has made me as much money as any book that I've ever done. Books that took me 18 months to write required a publisher, editors. I didn't do any of that. Okay? I sold this book before I had the title of it. Before I had a staple in it. I had an idea. Okay, I'm gonna write a book about how to be a millionaire. Boom. Start marketing the book right now. Create a little landing page. We'll show you how to do all this. It's so simple. We taught this to Tigran at our boot camp. Mm-hmm. We did a 3-day boot camp with a guy named Tigran. How old was Tigran at the time?
Probably 19 or 20.
20 years old. He's got a little
landscape business.
Mm-hmm. He's doing, I don't know,
He's all broken.
$4 or $5 million a year now.
No, he was.
Oh,
back then he's
yeah.
making like 80 grand a year or something, right? And I said, look, man, what's your idea? Well, I need to grow my business. Okay, that's good. That's an idea. But grow to what? What do you want to grow to? Okay. I mean, how do you think these big shots do it? Okay. How do you think these big guys do it? They don't get stuck in the mechanics. Okay. They don't get stuck in the mechanics. They get stuck in the vision. And they fund the vision. I said, Tigran, let's go build $1 million business. And then we just simply backed into how many yards, how many people, how much support he would need, okay? But it all came down to this: idea, vision, marketing, monetization, scaling that out, and being financially responsible as you did it, okay? And I want to bring somebody in right now that has done all this, okay? Mark Randolph, entrepreneur, speaker, co-founder of a small company called Drumbeat Netflix, national best-selling author, executive mentor, and angel investor. Mark, really appreciate you being here. Literally, this guy is going to share with us how he did what he did for this company that you all know as Netflix. Mark, great to have you here.
Grant, great to be here too. Listen, had I known what you were going to talk about those last 5 or 10 minutes, we could have skipped the whole thing. It's that simple, you know?
Well, let
it's
me
ideas and fucking doing something about it, you know?
How much of that did you hear?
Oh, I heard about the last 10 minutes or so.
So how much of that you agree with? Like what parts do you agree with?
100%. I mean, people, listen, everyone who's taken a shower has had an idea. But what really separates the people who actually accomplish something is they start. Like you said, they don't get bogged down in the mechanics of it. They don't dream about it and plan. The best entrepreneur, listen, we're jumping way ahead here, but listen, the best entrepreneurs I know are not the best idea people. They're the people who are clever enough and creative enough and persistent enough to actually figure out a way to start. And you were saying that, and it was so right on.
So, Mark, what was your first big score?
Oh, gosh. You know, unfortunately, the goalposts keep moving, and what counts as big keeps changing.
I know. I remember when I made my first $1,000. I was stuck. I kept making like, I don't know, $3,000 a month, and I never could get over it. And then I made $4,000 one month. That's the biggest money I ever made in my whole career.
Yeah, it's funny too, because you know I never got into this business because I had some dreams of being wealthy or anything like that. I was just a curious guy, and I always wanted to see, would this work? And so some of the earliest thrills were basically trying things that everybody was going, that's ridiculous, and then proving that in fact I could make it work. So I mean, and it's those scores. That's the type of score which I go for. Is this feeling of there's got to be a way to do this if I'm just clever enough and persistent enough, and then finally making it happen.
You wrote a book called "That Will Never Work." Why did you call it that? Why was it titled that?
You know, it's kind of tongue in cheek because it's the thing which I think every entrepreneur hears. And when I was pitching this ridiculous idea to do video rental by mail, which of course was the first. The original idea for Netflix, everyone I pitched it to thought it was stupid. I mean, the people I was trying to hire, the people I was trying to get to invest, you know, even my wife was telling me how ridiculous this idea was. And it kind of became this internal rallying cry. You know, that'll never work. I'll show you. And we've all heard that. You know, all of us have woken up in the morning with some great idea, and you come rushing down and you tell your spouse, come to the office and tell your team, and they all tell you that. And part of what your job is as entrepreneurs is to say, no, I am going to figure this out. I'm going to make it work.
How did you get the first money? I mean, where were you in your life at that time? And then how did you guys get the money to monetize the rollout?
Well, so one thing about Netflix is that was my 5th startup. So I was 38 years old, and I had been doing this pretty much ever since I was in my early 20s. But then again, this is back in 1996, 97. It was a very different time. back then, if you had an idea, there weren't people lined up trying to, well, maybe it's not happening now anymore either, trying to throw money at you. You needed to have somewhat of a track record. And so I was kind of doing incremental scores up till then. And the first money came from my co-founder, Reed Hastings. Him and he had bought my previous startup, and him and I, turns out, lived in the same town, and we began carpooling to work together. And then about 6 months later, that company that he had started and founded was being sold, and both Reed and I were going to be out of a job. And that was really what the genesis of Netflix was, but not some dream of doing better video rental, but purely, let's figure out some cool way to use the internet. And Reed and I agreed that I would start and run the company, and he would be the angel investor. And all we had to do was come up with an idea.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I've never had anybody believe in me like that. Damn, I didn't even know that actually happened.
Sometimes the stars align. And, I've been incredibly fortunate in that I've had a chance to be paired up with some really, really great entrepreneurs, because I just believe so much of what you learn about entrepreneurship comes from doing it first, but comes secondly from watching someone else who's good at it do it, at seeing how they make decisions, at seeing how they take risks, at realizing there's different ways to solve problems than the ones that you might learn in school or read in case studies.
So what do you think? What do you think, Reed? Other than you being his chauffeur, what do you think? What do you think? I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna start driving people to work. What do you think he saw in you that he would? Was it the success in the previous business? Maybe.
No, no. I don't think this was a cold-blooded economical calculation. When Reed and I first met, we connected immediately for two reasons. The first is we are opposites. I mean, he is a computer scientist. He's a mathematician. He is logical. He is that type of person who everything is a calculation, logically decided. And I'm the opposite. I'm the extrovert. I'm the empath. I'm the marketing guy. And both of us realized that, wow, this other person not only thinks very differently than I do, but can do things that I could only dream of doing. And I think there was this mutual respect. But the other one is a very, very different thing, is that both Reed and I shared this personality trait, which had just come to be called radical honesty, that neither of us had really met someone like that before, where life is too short to shade the truth. Life is too short not to tell someone exactly what you're thinking, whether it's good or bad. And, in my past, when I was like that, people thought I was being a bully or being mean or being aggressive. And Reed immediately recognized that, no, here's another guy who realizes that the best way to solve a problem is to come at it and argue as hard as you can. And then as soon as you both realize what the right answer is, you fall in behind that answer and you forget immediately whose idea it might have been or who was arguing what way. I think those two things made us realize we're kind of destined to do something together.
So where does the idea come from? I mean, the idea had to be senior, right? To any you guys doing anything. Clearly, I mean, it's always an idea first, and then the vision.
Absolutely.
But how do you stay with it? How do you stay with it, Mark, when you're the only one that believes in it and everybody's telling you it's never going to happen?
Well, it's really kind of a contradictory thing, because I'm going to tell you, Grant, you don't stay with it. You never fall in love with your idea. Falling in love with your idea is disastrous. What you need to fall in love with is the problem, because the problem will never disappoint you. I mean, you have this idea and it's my idea, and you're cherishing it in your arms, and it's this beautiful, beautiful baby that anyone else's baby, and you can envision it. It's going to be a Heisman Trophy winner, or it's going to be the CEO. But listen, it's going to grow up and do, I don't know, crack behind the 7-Eleven or something like that. You never know. Yeah. But if you find something that intrigues you, it's a problem that a lot of people have, that's the thing you don't want to let go of. But let me tell you, Reed and I had this really peculiar method of brainstorming. Because again, this is not like both of us were movie guys. We had young kids. I think I watched Lion King 2/3 of the time. the methodology we had was we were carpooling back and forth to work every day, like I mentioned. And it would be almost the same thing. Reed would pick me up every morning, and I'd get in the car and I go, okay, Reed, I got one for you. Personalized shampoo. We're going to have people cut off a lock of their hair. They're going to mail it to us. We're going to use a team of ace hair scientists to formulate a custom blend just for them, and they'll subscribe to it. And this really is one that I pitched him. And then the same thing would happen, which is pretty much nothing. He'd be just staring out the window. And I was patient, 30 seconds might go by, a minute, maybe 2 minutes. And there was this rapid fire calculations and cost benefit analysis going on there. And then he'd turn and go, that will never work. And here's why. And he'd lay into me. And then I would go, I'd done my research, and I go, no, here's what I've learned. Here's why it will work. And we'd argue all the way to work. And if need be, we'd argue all the way back. And we would go through, over the course of the 2 or 3 months we were doing this, hundreds of ideas, personalized baseball bats, vitamins, pet food. And then one of the crazy ideas, which we tossed out, was video rental by mail, where you'd rent the movie online and we'd mail it to you, and you'd keep it for 7 days and mail it back. But again, this is back in 1996.
Yeah, so where's Blockbuster at the time?
Blockbuster is the dominant beast. They have 9,000 stores and 60,000 employees. They were it.
Yeah, so you went there to get your movies. For any of the audience that doesn't know, you used to go to a place to get your movies like you did your beer, and you'd rent your movie and bring it home and then have to bring it back. And so was that a problem for people you guys had complained about, and you're like, let's solve that?
Yeah, absolutely. You're looking around, you're looking for pain. And certainly since all of us rented movies, and you go, oh, the damn late fees, and oh, so hard to find things, and the store's dirty, and the clerks are surly, and you can't help but go, there's got to be a better way to do this. And we thought, I had a lot of experience. My initial part of my career, I was a direct marketing guy. I did mail order, I did catalogs, direct response TV. And I go, I know the logistics of this. I can figure out how to ship it. The problem was that back when this happened, video came on VHS cassettes. And I don't know how many of you guys in the audience remember those things, big and heavy. And so it didn't take much arguing in the car to realize that's not going to work. It's too heavy. It's too expensive to ship. And so that idea got abandoned. And then we got the lucky break, which you kind of hope happens if you're an entrepreneur, is that one day when I got in the car, Reed cut me off and goes, hey, I heard about this cool technology which might solve one of our problems. It's called a DVD. It's this little disc, holds a movie. And all of a sudden we began going, wow, that actually might allow us to dust off that old video rental by mail idea. And then here, and Grant, this is a key thing to the point we were talking about when we started our conversation, which is we didn't then but go, quick, let's work on a business plan, or let's try and get on Shark Tank, or we stopped dreaming and we said, let's see if we can validate this idea right away. And we turned the car around mid-commute and drove back into town where we lived and tried to buy a DVD, and of course couldn't find one. It was in test market then, and settled for buying a used music CD. Music. And then went a couple doors down to the stationery shop and got a little pink gift envelope, like you'd put a greeting card in, and put the CD in the envelope, addressed it to Reed's house, bought a stamp, and then dropped it in the slot at the post office and went to work. And the very next morning, when Reed picked me up, he didn't even have to say anything. He kind of just held up this little envelope with an unbroken CD in it that had gotten to his house in less than a day for the price of a postage stamp. And if there was an aha moment, I think that probably was it. That was the point where we both looked at each other and kind of said, wow, this just might work.
So you mentioned a couple of times it was never about the money. I think you referenced that it wasn't really about the money. But so why were you and Reed throwing around all these ideas? I mean, the shampoo hair thing, I mean, you're clearly not changing the world with that. So what is it?
You can tell, huh?
Yeah. What is it you guys why were you guys having these brainstorms on the way to work every day? What was the goal? Was it to make money? Was it to build a company? Was it
to fill
That's a
up
really
time?
interesting question. And certainly the goal is to make money and to build a company. But not for the purpose of being personally wealthy and not for the purpose of being powerful. But that was the rules of the game. I mean, I remember one time I was having this discussion with someone years ago when I was young, and I was going, God, what do you want to do with your life? And I go, God, anything that allows me to kind of have to solve interesting problems. And I go, I would even program traffic lights because that's kind of an interesting problem. And he goes, that's ridiculous because that problem, it's so inflexible. There's rules. It'll take you 6 months to do something stupid. And what entrepreneurship allows you to do is solve really interesting problems at a really big scale with really smart people. And yes, to enlist the people to help you, to get the money, you have to have a profit motivation. It's the rules of the game.
Yeah.
But being motivated by the right reasons, I think, is important because it's like people who say to me, Mark, I want to be an actor because I want to be rich and famous. And I go, oh, well, good luck with that. 1 out of a million actors actually become rich and famous. You're going to end up being a waiter or a waitress.
Yeah.
I go, but if you enjoy making characters and moving people and performing, by all means be an actor because you'll get everything you want out of being an actor for that. And if you happen to be good at it, maybe you will get rich and famous, but do it for the right reasons. And entrepreneurship, no different. If you're motivated by trying to be rich and famous, you're probably going to be disappointed. If you love solving interesting problems, if you love this idea of sitting around a table with super smart people doing puzzles all day, man, it's the best job in the world.
Man, you're a weird dude, bro. I got to tell you.
I'm talking to the wrong audience. I know.
Yeah.
Listen, I've done really well, and it's a very, very wonderful thing. I do not deny the benefits that it's given me.
No.
But what's motivated me is something a little bit different.
Yeah. No, I was talking about the actors though, because I'm like,
oh,
you're commenting about the actors because I'm like, entrepreneurs are actors.
True.
They're acting like it's going to work out. They're acting like people, right?
Yeah, absolutely right.
So
I think it's salesmanship is the version. That's what I say. It's like you're always selling, and I don't just mean selling. You're always trying to convince something, whether it's to come join you, whether it's to, let me lease your building when I have negative at net assets. So it's always a sales job.
Yeah. How important is sales to you in making the idea a reality?
It's essential. I mean, it really is. I call it sales because I want people to not poo-poo it.
Right.
And not think that it's somehow being disingenuous or dishonest. It's believing in something. Here's the weird story. So this is early at Netflix, and it's probably in the first 6 months. I'm trying to convince someone to join us. And I'm going, this is an amazing opportunity. This company is really going to be something. That stock's going to be worth more than $100 a share. And afterwards, someone comes up to me and goes, Mark, don't you feel a little bad bullshitting someone like that? And I was completely taken aback because I went, it's not bullshit if you believe it.
Yes.
And if you believe in something, it is a critical skill to be able to get other people to believe it too.
So
that's salesmanship.
Yeah. So why are people so, in your mind, like, I imagine over there in Silicon Valley, it's even worse, but why is the sales thing so frowned upon, you think? And even the money thing, even the idea of money and doing something for a profit and.
Oh, I don't think that people, you're right. Salesmanship does have somewhat of a bad image because people think it's someone who's selling snake oil. Mm-hmm. But I think if you really believe in your product, the best way to be an effective salesman is to be completely convinced that this thing can transform your business. If you were using this, you would be more profitable. You would shorten your time to market. You would have whatever it is your product or service does, genuinely believing it can help. That's what salesmanship is. And the best salesmen are that. It's as opposed to thinking I've got to hit some quarterly nut and I'm willing to do something disingenuous or ethically questionable to get there.
Yeah.
I don't think certainly out in Silicon Valley, there's a little bit of that because we're so engineering heavy that people feel that people who are good marketers or good salesmen are somehow practicing a black art. I remember, I'm sorry, I'm telling these crazy stories. You got to cut me off. I worked at a big software company for a while. And I did direct marketing, like I told you. And I used to melt people's minds because I would go to an engineer, someone who is grounded in bits and in pure logic. And I'd say, listen, I've demonstrated that the red envelope sells more than the blue envelope. And they go, that completely makes no sense. Why on earth would the color of the envelope, that's ridiculous, make a difference on whether someone bought this product or not? And I'd say, okay, let me show you the data. And they look at the data and they're going, oh, the data, but makes no sense. But the data, it makes no sense. And that's what the Silicon Valley culture is. And so there is this feeling that it should be all about the product and not about your ability to be persuasive. But I hope we can turn that around.
Do you, when you talk about sales and marketing, how different are those in your mind? And which one, the second part of the question is, if you could only do one, which one would you live or die by?
As soon as you tell me, Grant, which of your kids you like better, then I'll go second. How about that? No, it's true. It's
good.
They're inextricably linked because in some ways, I think marketing is what you say and sales is how you say it.
I like that.
You can't really do one without the other. Yeah. If you forced me to really decide, I probably would favor marketing over sales.
Of course you would. Of course you would. Once you think it through, you're like, okay, I got to have marketing.
You and me got to pair up, buddy, because then we've got the unholy duo here. You know?
Yeah, it'll be unstoppable. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like I was stuck. I didn't grow up in the world you grew up in, right? So everything was one-on-one sales. You know, like that was my only, I got out of college and the only thing I could do was sell something to earn money. And so I got really good at selling people, handling the objections, the whole grind out, so it wasn't until when social media popped open, I'm like, oh, because I wasn't going to spend any of my money on advertising. I was too stupid to do that. I didn't know about the red or yellow envelope. I didn't know about direct marketing. I knew nothing. And then when social media popped up, I'm like, oh, I got something to say. And then the audience grew, and I'm like, oh, you just need a big audience. So how important to you is it, can anybody's idea get known? And should they be selling themselves first or the idea first? Marketing themselves first or the idea first?
So, at the risk of, you and me being on opposite sides of this, I think you have to sell the idea first. I think ideas are magic. Ideas scale much better than people do. I mean, you're relatively unique in the way that you've been able to scale your ability to have one-on-one connection with people. It's pretty rare. An idea, a meme, almost by definition is something that is able to work itself from mind to mind to mind without a person being involved. And if you come up with a great idea, it has tremendous power. It's one of the three, in my opinion, big responsibilities a CEO has. One, get the right team together. Number two is make sure you don't run out of money. But number three is you've got to set the vision for the organization, and that's the idea. Everybody needs to have a North Star, even when you're not around, so that they can operate independently and make decisions aligned with the organization. And that's the idea.
Yeah, no, I love that. Now, where does finance fall into that? The team, the money, well, you said the money, right? The vision.
Yeah, don't run out of money is too many people, again, back to what we were talking about before. It's like, I don't want to deal with that. But no, nothing happens unless you can afford to pay people, unless you can do marketing, unless you can afford to develop your product and your service. I'm not saying you wait until you have money to start. Don't let anything stop you from starting. I'm just saying once you're underway, you have to always pay attention to that. It's what, listen, people always say, when should I give up? And most entrepreneurs don't think that way. They're forced to give up. And usually what forces them to give up is they run out of money.
So what you've been very successful. You've had a lot of financial success, whether you were going for it or not. You could hit that a couple of times. You could hit that a couple 100 million times. So where do you what would you tell people looking back? I remember hearing Steve Jobs say, "Oh, it's not about the money." And when I heard it, I looked up what he was worth when he said that. I'm like, bro, you're already rich. It's easy to say that once you're rich, but on the come up, Mark, when he was like, you were struggling, like, how does somebody incorporate the money, the goals, the finances as part of the motivation?
I'm trying to parse these apart because, I am who I am, and I'm being very genuine that it's never been about, I don't make decisions about what to do based on necessarily it's going to make me super rich, because I can't predict those things.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. I'm very I am not, I've never started a nonprofit. I don't, the things I do are designed to make money. When I take money from a venture capitalist, he's not giving it to me, or he or she is not giving it to me because they think I'm a good guy and they sign on to my dream. No, they want that money back, and ideally times 100.
Right.
And my obligation when I take that money to help scale my business is to do just that. And that requires focusing on those things. So it's a very, very big motivator in that regard. It is the measurement of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Listen, if I start a fee, save the chimpanzees organization, well, my goal is a little bit different. It's saving the chimpanzees. If I start a company that's for profit, pretty clear what the goal is. It's to return value to shareholders.
Yeah. Have you underestimated then what you would actually achieve?
I'm completely astounded by what I achieved. I mean, when you start, listen, that goes to the same thing. When we started Netflix, it wasn't like I was going, okay, just a matter of time before we're in every country and making our own movies, before there's this Netflix and chill thing. No, never in a gazillion years did I ever dream that this would be where this company or me ended up.
What did you think? What did you?
Each time you're trying to mount a crest a hill.
Yeah. What did you and Reed think that Netflix would be worth? Did you guys ever have that talk? Like, hey,
the closest we came to that is early on. This was probably in the first summer we were in business. We've been in business for 4 or 5 months, and we had really worked really hard, because back then starting a web business was not a simple matter of getting on Shopify or hooking up Stripe or PayPal. You had to build everything yourself. We had to find every single DVD available. I had to do deals with every single DVD manufacturer to get a coupon in their box.
Wow.
It was a big uphill slog. So about 3 months in, we get a call from none other than Jeff Bezos. And he goes, well, why don't you guys come on up to Seattle? We can chat. And it was pretty obvious what he wanted to chat about, which was, at the time, if you can imagine this little company called Amazon was only selling books. But it was pretty obvious that his aspirations were to be the everything store. So we go up there and he kicks the tires. It's pretty obvious that he's considering buying Netflix. And he kind of throws out an approximate number, maybe $14 or $15 million.
Million.
And so Reed and I are flying home.
Oh my God.
And we're going, wow, that's pretty good for 12 months work. What do we do? We're kind of looking at each other in the eye. And I think that was kind of the moment when you're forced to confront what could happen here. Being given the opportunity to get out makes you really think twice about whether you want to stay in. And I remember Reed saying the next day, he goes, yeah, I was talking to my wife about it. And I told her, I think this could be even bigger than how he did on his last company. And that was pretty good hit. And I think that was the first time we said to ourselves, we could actually make something pretty significant out of this. But I must confess, we underestimated how much difficulty still lay in the.
Yeah, because you're saying at that time, like you're dealing with all the startup problems. You're like you're being beat up. You're being beat up with every possible problem. How did you guys push through that? Okay, like because you're not profitable. Netflix wouldn't be profitable for how many years?
Probably 5 or 6. It took a while. And it was actually really interesting, because I told you before that when I pitched this original idea for Netflix, everyone said that'll never work, including my wife. And it was interesting because once we launched, it was pretty telling that everyone was right, that it didn't work. And it took us not just years to get profitable, but it took us about 2 years of constant experimentation to actually finally find the business model that did work, the repeatable, scalable model that is what entrepreneurship is finding. And that was when we stumbled onto doing a subscription business. And that's what really all of a sudden gave us something that we knew could actually, at scale, be profitable. And the problem is, as you know from anybody out here who has a subscription business, is that they're incredibly cash heavy, because you've got to pay all the acquisition cost up front, but you make it back slowly over many months. And so the more successful you are, the more cash you burn. But we didn't care. This is in early 2000, and cash was easy. This was the peak of irrational exuberance. You could go out in the driveway with a green flag, and a dump truck would back up and dump money in your driveway. And no problem until, of course, as you know, in later 2000, the whole dot-com bubble burst, and then we were in deep trouble because we were growing like crazy, but hemorrhaging cash. And that was probably the point where we were in the most trouble, as one of the 2 times we were in the most trouble as a company, almost out of business at that moment.
Dude, that's amazing, man. So how important is it, man? It's just to hear, I really appreciate you coming here and sharing your stories, letting people have access to this information. I can't imagine being 25 years old and getting access to this. None of this existed, even 6-7 years ago. I can't imagine where the world's going to be tomorrow, but it's definitely going to be a better place. So the fact that you're giving people access to your experiences is just phenomenal. Thank you. How important is, for the audience, looking back over your career, is scaling, is thinking about scaling, not just where you are today, but to
I think about it all the time in everything I do. You heard me refer to it a few minutes ago, is that the holy grail for any business is a repeatable, scalable business model. I mean, and it's one of the challenges, especially when people have businesses which are dependent on them. And then, unfortunately, getting bigger just means working harder and longer. And that's not necessarily a recipe for a balanced life. And so you're always looking for, say, how do I scale this in a way that there's leverage? I am always looking for that. I'm always saying I'm going to start out in a niche because I can win a niche. I can focus all my attention on a small sliver of the market. But if I pick that sliver correctly, it gives me permission to grab the 2 slivers to either side. And if I get those 3, I have permission to get the other 9 around those 3. But I'm always thinking, and how I choose which of those little segments of the market I go for, about how they give me permission to get the next one. And this scalability is not just in the market, it's everything. I mean, for example, I have this small community that I run. And at first, I would welcome every single person who joined. I would get on and go, hey, glad to have you. And all of a sudden I go, what am I doing? This is completely non-scalable. If this thing gets to be the size that I want it to be, I can't keep doing this. I've got to think of a different way to get that feeling of inclusiveness without requiring me to be the person who greets everybody.
Right.
And every business has these points, and you've got to step back sometimes and go, what am I doing which is non-scalable? What can I do to make it more scalable? And ultimately, businesses are like sharks, and if they're not moving, they die.
Yeah, 100%. That's true. How important is it, Mark, to be around people that are thinking the same size or you or bigger?
It's awesome. I mean, nothing worse than a Debbie Downer or no gender reference is implied there. You
gotta be careful right now. You better be careful, son.
I know. Get canceled before I even get out the door.
My audience, they tried to cancel me, and I just said, "Hey guys, I'm uncancelable, so whatever."
Good. So, how about I don't know. I can't think of a gender neutral version of it. But listen, you don't want people around who are totally raining all the time and pessimistic. You want people who are dreamers.
Yeah.
And I talked about roles of the CEO, and number 2 is who's on the team.
Yeah.
And you need people who fit, who share your aspirations, your dreams, who match your style. It's so critical. I mean, I mentioned before that I'd started Netflix when I was 38, and that is a huge advantage. And not just because of maturity and having done other startups, it's because I had a chance to collect people. I had, every time I'm working someplace and I go, oh my gosh, this person gets it. I'm not letting them escape. And then you go to start a new company. It's like the Blues Brothers, and you're going around getting the band back together again.
Yeah. Are you saying you started Netflix at 38, that you were older? You're not saying you were young then, right?
No, I'm saying I'm Silicon Valley tainted. I was old for Silicon Valley years.
Yeah, I just want to be sure the audience
I would give anything to be 38 now.
Right. So I just want to be sure the audience knew that you were saying you had some experience and some that you brought with you and a lot of relationships that you brought with you, okay? Have you noticed, Mark, that along the way, that these guys, the big players, okay, are they going to put up with the Debbie Downer, the negative Nelly, the crying, oh my God, I'm working too hard.
Crying Carl, how about that one?
Crying Carl, there you go. Are they going to put up with that? Like, are you going to spend time talking to a guy worth $3 or $4 billion about your problems?
No, it's not gonna fly. It just is not gonna fly. It's part of that's the hard part of being a CEO or a founder sometimes, is that you've got to recognize that you can't get it right all the time on the way in. You can make your best judgment. If your standard for hiring someone is I've got to get it right every time, you're never going to hire anybody. You've got to recognize I'm going to make mistakes, and then what you have to do is be willing to address them, which means you've got to take that person and go, you're not a good fit for this. Be a risk manager at a bank. They'll love the pessimistic attitude, but it's not going to fly here, and it's not a good fit.
What what happened with the bank over there, with the Silicon Valley Bank? What do you think happened there?
Yeah, I'm not a banker, so I don't have any deep insight. It certainly demonstrates just one more way that the world is different in a world of social media, how quickly news travels.
Right.
And what was kind of interesting was, I think it was Credit Suisse who was going, who saw this coming?
Right.
And I'm going, what are you, out of your mind? We've had social media around for 10 years. If you don't think that bad news is going to travel fast, you're just not paying attention. But it's a lesson for all of us, actually, not about balance sheets and all that stuff, but about the fact that you can't necessarily lock things in stone and think they're going to stay consistent for 6 years. Things change in a dime, and if you're not ready to react, you're not going to survive.
Last question, Mark. You mentioned life balance. Okay, how much of that has to be what's the word? Compromised in the beginning.
Oh, in the beginning, yeah, that's a good question. So life balance is a huge thing for me. I spend so much time talking about it because I'm a believer in it.
You're a believer.
I said Netflix is my sixth company. Depends how you count. I've done one more after that, and I vowed long time ago that I was not going to be the guy who's on his sixth company and is also on his sixth wife. I had to find a balance. But I worked like a dog when I was in my 20s. And the analogy I think works best is for years I did triathlons. And if you haven't done one, you've sure seen them before. And they usually have this water start where everyone, 500 people plunge in simultaneously, and they're all there, and they're kicking, and you're knocking your goggles off, and you're pushed underwater, and they're swimming over you. It is a disaster. And what you learn is, I got to sprint. I got to go as hard as I can for the first 10 minutes to get out in front. But then I can't go that speed for the whole race. I've got to then settle in and find my pace. And I think life is like that. When you're young, yeah, you got to work like crazy because you have a disadvantage. You don't have the respect yet. You don't have the knowledge yet. You've got to establish yourself someplace. But then again, you know, at some point, you've got to settle back and go, it's a long haul here, and I've got to have a balance in my life. I've got to stay related. I've got to stay connected to my wife, to my kids. I've got to be able to pursue the things that are outside of business that keep me whole. And those are the people who see long-term success rather than just a short-term flash in the pan.
What age guy are you, Mark?
How old am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my 60s.
Oh, dude, that's awesome, man. You look great. You sound great. You know, you got a lot of energy. You got a great attitude. Again, you're a very hopeful dude, man.
Thank you. You know, I have a million things I still want to do. I can't turn it off.
Well, good. I look forward to spending some more time with you and figuring out how we can do something together. And just a lot of admiration for your success and what you've done, changed the world. I mean, you can't drop that name Netflix without somebody knowing, oh my God, who did that? So you give me a lot of inspiration. Yeah. Last question is, what does the term 10X mean to you when you hear that?
When I hear 10X, I hear, dream big, think big, realize that what you're doing, there's way more possible. I think what a great name for a movement, because it really is. It's so aspirational. And the other thing, and listen, you've heard all these before too, is that 10X is non-specific. Hey, you start off, when we first did Netflix, my goal was I want to be in the top 10 rental chains.
Wow.
And then you get there and you go, well, shit, okay, I can do 10 on top of this. I want to be the biggest rental chain. And then you get there and you look up and go, okay, now I want to be bigger than HBO. Then you get there. There's always room to dream bigger.
That's awesome, man. How many subscribers does Netflix have today?
200 million and change.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. It kind of blows me away. Day one had 200 subscribers, 200 customers. Wow. And I thought, oh my God, I've made it. This is my whole first month forecast. And just goes to show that, if you start and you stick with it, you just never know where it's going to end up.
Mark Randolph, thank you so much for your time. Guys, everybody give a big thank you to Mark, okay? Phenomenal human being. That was awesome, man. Okay, Mark, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time on a Saturday. Okay, guys, you heard it. I don't know if there's any disagreement here. He's telling you got to scale. Everybody's telling you money's important. It doesn't have to be the most important thing. But sooner or later, you're going to... The vendor, the guy that wants the refund, the insurance company, the rental on your office, whatever you're going to pay for your house, you're going to send your kids. So sooner or later, you got to confront the money thing. So what we want to do, if you guys want to continue more of this, what I want to do with my time and my legacy, and Mark was talking about, that guy's not going to do anything that he doesn't want to do now. It's Saturday afternoon. My family's about 2 miles from here. I want to do the thing. I want to be around winners. The thing I asked him about, you hanging around somebody worth $4 or $5 billion, they're going to listen to your bullshit? Ain't no way. You guys would never talk about some of the bullshit you talk about hanging out with me, okay? You'll do it privately, but you're not going to do it with me. You understand that? You're not going to be like, oh man, I can't afford $259. Who would you tell that to? Who would you ever say that to? I can't find the time. I can't get away. I can't make 3 days, okay? Oh my God, I got the kids. You would never tell, if you were in a car with Reed Hastings like he was, would you every day, with Grant Cardone, you pick me up every day. Hey man, what's going on? Man, I don't have time. I can't find the 3 days. Grant, I want to spend 3 days with you, but I don't have the time. Are you kidding me? You would never say these things, okay? Okay? So first thing we got to do is, man, we got to get your ideas bigger, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're going to do in 20 days, starting today, by the way. The next 19 days, I'm going to set you up with training. You need to do about 1 hour a day for the next 20 days, 19 days. And then on the 20th day, I'm going to come into your home. I'm going to come to your computer, and then we're going to start fortifying these 10X ideas. Not these little tiny ideas, because they're not inspiring enough. I want to get another job. No, you don't. Nobody wants to get another job. How dumb an idea can you come up with? You were complaining about how hard you work. Now you're like, I'm going to go work harder. That doesn't make any sense. You're trying to solve a problem. Okay? You're just not coming up with the right solutions. Your solutions need to be 10X, not 1 plus 0.1. Your life doesn't change, okay? You got a job here for 8 hours and you're gonna add another what? 6 hours? You're gonna be less productive on the 6 hours. And if you're not, if you're more productive on that 6 hours, this is the job, you did 8 hours, and then you add 6 hours because you're trying to solve a problem. What problem are you trying to solve? Probably a money problem. I need more money. I need more money for the house. I need more money for mom. I need more money for the kids. I need more money for my wife. I need more money for a trip. Something. You're trying to solve some kind of, I can't pay my rent. I've been on all that stuff, okay? So what you do is you're like, I'm gonna go get another job. Now you just lost time to go put in more time. If you make more money here than you did in this 8 hours, guess what? You're gonna spend more time here, less time there, and you're gonna end up losing this job. And you're back to the freaking grind again. Now you got a second job that's paying you the same as the first job. You lost the first job because you're freaking worn out, and the freaking vicious cycle starts over. Why? Because you simply did not think big enough to solve your problem. And that's what we're gonna do on day one. It will be worth millions or billions of dollars to you, I promise you. Day one will change your life forever. It's gonna change your wife's life, your husband's life, your kids' lives. It's gonna change your entire name. Everybody's gonna look at you and say different. Like, look at my life. You look at where I'm at today, and you look at where I grew up, okay? Do you know how many people I have helped because I did this 10X thing? But that means I had to go back and get rid of a bunch of limitations and scarcity and mindsets and trainings and educations that my mom gave me, my dad gave me, that society gave me. Just the community I grew up in was very small thinking. Save your money. Plan for retirement. I bought life insurance when I was 20. Whole life insurance when I was 20 years old. Why am I buying life insurance when I'm 20 years old? Oh, because Grant, this is a good investment vehicle so that when you retire. When? When am I going to retire? Okay, what, 45 years later? Maybe? Well, why? I should have been investing in me. Not my life insurance in case I died. I wasn't even worth anything. What am I protecting? Okay. So one, you needed ideas. Two, now I got to go out and monetize those ideas. Okay. This is the weekend. I'm going to show you how to start monetizing things. Okay. We're going to I'm going to tweak a little something here to work with your finances, but it's just going to be to show you how to think bigger. Okay. So first I got to get ideas that actually finance your life and your dreams and your goals and your purpose and your mission. All those things are financeable, folks. You don't need to go get a loan from the government to do this. You don't need to go to school for 4 years to do this. They don't teach you this. They don't teach you how to finance your dreams, okay? I'm not talking about the business, by the way. I'm not even talking about the type of business yet. All businesses scale out the same way. So first ideas, then we monetize, and now, okay, I want to market this. I want to market this company. I want to figure out how to market. How do I actually tell people what I'm doing, okay? Number 4, okay? We got to have financial intelligence in here so you're not wasting money. So you're not wasting money. Now, when I say wasting money, what do you think? Oh, we're spending too much. No, wasting money is saving money. That is a waste of money. Okay? The fact that you're saving money is a waste. Money is to be used and is useless until it is used. Okay? And then we're going to talk about how do I scale this thing so that 8 months, what are we in? April, May, June, July, August, September. In December, okay, right here, whatever goal you made here, you're like, hey, I'm going to build a $10 million business this year. I guarantee you by the end of this year, okay, you'll be changing your goals. And they will be bigger than whatever you set them at. Maybe you wanted to make $250,000 a year. Okay, good. By the end of the year, I guarantee you I'll have you on a $2.5 million track. Maybe you said, hey, I want to get out of my business right now. I want to leave that business. I want to start my own deal, and I want to start $1 million business. Guarantee you by December this year, in 8 months, you'll be like, I'm going to build a $10 million business out of that. Some of you have a business right now. We're going to actually destroy the business that you have and create something new around it. But whatever it is, we're going to help you, okay? Come spend 3 days with me. I invite you to do this, okay? I made it extremely easy for everybody to do. You literally click a button. I send you an invitation. Before you actually get the time, date, and location of how we're going to register you, what we're going to do is we're going to send you 2 programs to do for free today. Business Builder, how to make millions in business, and how to create a 10x financial freedom super life. 10x super life, okay? A life like I have, okay? Maybe you don't want the life I have, but I want to take your life and 10x your life. Maybe you want a life bigger than me. So I can just tell you, like, I have done and achieved more than both, just like the speakers that came on today, I have achieved more than I ever dreamed possible, which means what? The entire time I was thinking too small, simply thinking too small. Never imagined I would do what I did. Imagine if Grant Cardone at 25 years old would have believed he could do what he'd done when he was 65. I would have done it sooner.
God did.
I would have done it when I was 35 or 45 and not waited till I was 65. I'm begging you guys, get the right information, get the right mindset, learn how to monetize, learn how to market, learn how to finance. You can do this, okay? I cannot teach you how to be an actor in a Tom Cruise movie, okay? I can't teach you how to be a dancer or singer or a ball player. I can't teach you any of that. I can teach you how to build a business or help someone build a business as big as you want to build it. You want $1 billion business? I can show you exactly how to do that, okay? I can show you how to get the time-life balance that you deserve. You're not going to get it without money. It's impossible, okay? Everybody here talked about time-life balance. They also talked about how important money was to the time-life balance crisis. So come with me, okay? We're going to give you these 2 programs to start with. I need 1 hour, about an hour a day, every day for the next 19 days. And then on the 20th, I'm going to send you a link, okay? 20th, 21st, 22nd. Carve those 3 days out. Is that recorded for them?
No.
Okay, I'm going to give you the recording, okay? No. You have to show up and register. You got to show up. Once you show up live for the event, we will give you the recording, but you got to show up for the event. Okay, is that what you're worried about?
No.
People just get the recording and they don't show up? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you show up, you register each day, you come in each day, register with your team, okay? Once you validate that, we'll give you the recording in case you can't be there all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to do all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I make the time. I don't make excuses. I'm going to do the entire program. It's $5,200 for $297. Okay, if that's not enough, you get the workbook. I'm going to send this out to you. So you need to hit it today so I can get it to you today. Hit it and get it. We're going to end this tonight at 6 o'clock. The offer's over at 6 o'clock. Okay. And I'm going to give you a $297 credit at my store. What else, Jared, can we do?
Yeah. Well, I just want to. I want to share something about the about the event. This event is called it's called the Interactive Boot Camp.
Yeah, and this guy's a perfect example of somebody that has benefited from it.
So the Interactive Boot Camp is different than a normal event that we come to. So like most of our events that we run, we do them live in big rooms. There's 500 people, 1,000 people, 6,000 people. They're big rooms, and that prevents you from doing things that are really, really cool. And actually going through COVID, we figured this out and ended up getting this piece of technology that allows us, when we're in live events, virtual events, that we can actually have breakout rooms, people can network, they can connect with each other. And so we've leveraged this technology in this virtual event where we can actually guarantee that over the course of 3 days, you're gonna get into breakout rooms of 5 to 7 people to where we can actually guarantee that you'll get to be able to face-to-face connect and network with 75 people. And so you get to talk about things that we're discussing. We teach for about 40 or 45 minutes. We give you time to go do your exercises. And then we put you into these breakout rooms where you go from a Zoom meeting just like this into a room where there's just 6 or 7 people and all of you guys have your cameras on and you get to meet each other, you get to talk about the concepts. So you get to actually go through the material and talk about it. And what we found is that on the back side of this event, they've been able to engage in a way that they didn't at a live event. They've been able to meet new people. They've been able to better understand content and concepts because they've been able to talk to them about people. And the coolest thing that we do.
You start doing your exercises too.
Yeah.
You start figuring out like branding. What is your brand? What is your market? What is your message? What is your product? Oh, is there another product to add to that? How are you going to scale to $1 million and then 10 million? You actually work through these exercises.
And one of the coolest things that we do in this event that we love doing every year is on the second night we have a pitch off. And so when you guys take advantage of this offer for $297, which is an absolute steal on this, you'll have the opportunity on the next page to register to participate in the pitch off. It's kind of like a Shark Tank thing that we put together. It's Grant, it's me, it's Brandon Dawson, our co-founder at Cardone Ventures, and then Pete Vargas also, where you actually have the opportunity
to get known,
but you have the opportunity to pitch your idea, your business in front of not just our panel, but you have the opportunity to pitch it in front of the thousands of people that are going to be watching. So when you take advantage of the offer for the $297, make sure that if you want to have the opportunity to do the backstage event, get the Q&A questions answered, you also have the ability to register to join into the pitch off. So make sure you do that after you take advantage of the program here. This event, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to talk about any of you that want to come in person. We have 20 slots.
We're sold
you have
out.
10,000.
Yeah.
We have got 2 left.
I think we sold the last one. Yeah, but we could probably make room for 2 more.
Yeah. So whatever. Get on a waiting list, okay? So because somebody might not be able to make it. It's 10,000 to be at this in person. There'll only be 15 or 20 people in person, and then it's me on the stage for 3 days. Okay. I am literally working with you and your questions. Like right now, I'm looking at a screen. Right. I don't see you guys.
Yeah.
In this event. We actually go ahead. Say.
Yeah,
I've been sitting the whole time.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm fine. In this event, we that's perfect, Johnny. I'm working with one person times many people, right? So I can actually call on people and say, okay, tell me what and I'm going to bring you out of the audience, and I'm going to show people, because one of the things, remember, most important thing in business is what? Promote your business.
Yep.
Well, if I don't know you, I can't flow you. If I don't know you, I can't I can't trust you. If I don't know you, no money goes. Money moves when people know each other. And the more confidence people have. And we're moving into a time of no confidence. You remember the money mindset thing. These ideas are wrapped in confidence or no confidence. Most of you just give up on your ideas. How many of you, just throw it in the chat, had an idea about doing something and then gave up on the idea and later saw someone do it? Let me just throw it in the chat. If you've ever had an idea to do something that became, look at it. Look at that. Okay, because the idea wasn't monetized. If you'd have had the idea and had me there say, no, let's just go monetize it right now. Okay? When I had 200 orders for a book, I'm fine.
Okay.
When I had I want you to stay there.
Okay.
When I had 200 orders for that book in the first 10 minutes, boom, I finished the book.
Yep.
Because I had momentum and confidence. Same thing for teams, same thing for your division. You guys that own a company, you can have this for your whole company. You don't need, you should have the whole company watch it together as a team event. Johnny, you want to play that video just to show people what they've got in that video that you
just play that same one.
Awesome.
That was awesome. This is going to be without a doubt the most transformational 3 days that you spend with anybody, and I'm so glad that you guys get to spend it with us.
Today's about your money, your wealth, and having abundance in your life, whether it's $1 million, 10 million, or billion.
Damn, son.
Good at money is how do I get it? How do we keep it? How do we grow it?
I was making like almost $50,000 a year, but to make a quarter of my income in 26 days, guys.
I was able to go out and sell 10.47 million, which made me a little over 200,000 of gross income.
I started from 70,000 and now I am $600,000.
We were literally around 900,000 profit in our business. After boot camp, I went from 900,000 to $3.2 million.
Yeah, so guys. Way to go. So 3 days, it's an interactive boot camp. This is the workbook that you go through when you guys take advantage of the offer today. All you got to do is click the link below. You're going to get a box mailed out to you. We ship this box to you immediately. These will start going out Monday. The workbook's over 100 pages, so you get to go through and document everything that you're learning through all 3 of the days. So the first thing that you get in the box is the workbook. You also get a hat. You got your 10X hat. You get access to the 10X planner. This is a physical planner.
You want to know how I get so much done? Okay.
Plan it out.
Use this planner.
And then to get you started so that you guys don't have to wait until April 28th to come to the event, we're going to give you access to 2 programs right now. Number 1, the Financial Freedom Certification, and then number 2, the Business Builder Certification. It's important. The reason we're giving you these 2 programs is really important. Number 1, for the Financial Freedom Program, the reason that this program is so important is because Grant kept going back to the number 1 thing is this mindset, the ideas, the think. And the 10X Financial Freedom Program is literally about untangling all of the ideas that you have likely been raised and influenced by when it comes to money that prevent you from thinking big, doing something big, marketing and promoting yourself in a way. If the goal isn't big enough, you're never going to do the work. And for too many of us, we were just raised like Grant was, like I was, like you likely were, in a home where people never talked about getting rich or financial freedom. They talked about just get enough to get by, get enough to pay the bills, buy a house, go to college. The same story that everybody's told that gets them landed smack right dab in the middle. And so this financial freedom course is designed literally to unwind all of that so that you can start being more unencumbered with the way that you think about what's possible. The one thing it's
a mental colonic.
Because Grant, like every
you guys don't even know, like this is what happens in this virtual event. The first 3 hours, everybody's like, I didn't even know I thought that. I didn't even know I had that holding me up. You guys think it's other people. It's not other people. Okay, you're the worst person on your team. What if you found out? What if you found out that you were the liability keeping you from your assets? That it's not your kids, it's not your time, it's not your connections, it's not your education, it's you. Like you don't know what you don't know, okay? You don't know what you don't know because you're operating with things that you believe to be true that aren't. Mark Twain said, the things that people believe that aren't true, okay, the things that people believe most, that they hold most true, that aren't, are the things that are holding them back. It's not somebody's against me, okay? You're in the way. A recession will not stop the person with the right idea that's moving to monetize. They'll make it. In fact, this recession that we're going to go through, and we will go through nastiness through the end of the year, okay? $259 will not solve your problems going forward. This information, I promise you, okay, you cannot invest $259, you cannot save $259 and become a millionaire. This $259 has the potential to make you a millionaire many, 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 many times over, and I can show you thousands of people that have done that, okay? So it's 3 days with me, the entire 3 days. I give you, what did I say, 257?
Yeah.
297, sorry, 297, 297, 257.
Whatever,
What's the difference? What's the difference? It's just stupid. And I give you the 297 back, okay? Also, you guys that want to come in person, there's 2 spots left, and they're not 10,000, they're
15K,
15.
not 10K, yeah.
They're 15,000. You sit in the room with me, same information, you're just there in the room, okay? We give you this program right here, okay? I need you to start on the program, between today and tomorrow. I just need 1 hour. Just spend 1 hour with me, and I'm gonna start setting you up. I'm gonna start setting you up for 20 days from now.
And a lot of people are asking, hey, what about the live boot camp? This is different than the live boot camp. It's different content. It's delivered in a different way. It's a different program. The other thing I saw in the comment was, how's this compared to the Unbreakable Business System? It's a completely different program. So this is completely different. If you've never been to this event before, you don't have this information, and you definitely haven't experienced the information like this. The last thing that I'll tell you, this is one event we're so confident in what this event will do for you. We're so confident that after this event, you're going to be like, that was an amazing event. I've never experienced anything like that before, that we're going to offer a 100% money back guarantee. So you pay the $297. You come to this event, you spend 3 days with us, you learn all the information over 3 days. If you don't feel after 3 days like it was worth 10x what you paid for it, 100x. I mean, just tell us, like, hey, it wasn't worth it, it was terrible, it sucked, I want my money back. This is an offer we can make with 100% certainty because every single person that comes to this event is blown away by how much you get for just $297, which, by the way, we give you credit in the store for so that you can use to invest in a new program. It's essentially a free offer.
It's a zero. It's free. Okay, but you get to write off your taxes.
Yep.
So the goal is 10x 2023. This year, my goal is to help as many people possible 10x their money at a time where money's getting a little more difficult, folks.
Yep.
Okay? Got people failing all around you. I'm just telling you, if you don't do nothing, if you don't do nothing, if you don't do anything, like, don't expect anything to change. Keep doing what you've been doing. Keep getting what you've been getting. Okay? You tired of playing that old game? Maybe try a new game here. Okay? The banks aren't helping you. Wall Street's not going to help you. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they're not here to help you. Your mom and dad, they've had plenty of time to help you. Okay? The coach you've been using, he's already had enough time with you. Give me 3 days. Let's see what happens. Worst you have is $297 with a credit at my store. Costs you nothing. You invest 3 days. There's no way you walk away not learning something.
Kevin just posted in the comments. It sounds like he signed up for the program and he purchased a VIP seat for that event. He goes, the $500 I just spent was worth it just for the 2 interviews today.
Yeah.
So like we're going to over deliver on this event.
We always do.
Without a doubt.
My goal is to 10x your money. 10x your network, the people you're hanging with. Again, if you could spend 3 days, do you think Jared's benefited from spending the last 10 years with me?
Yeah. You know what I'll tell you is today, and I've heard you say this before, but when I hear other people say it too, it reminds me like you don't understand this yet, but you need to pay attention to this. And every time when you go, man, like, I can't believe we're at where we're at. Every single one of them go, man, there's no way I would have ever, very few people ever put themselves in the future and go, I know that I'm going to get to be, my company will be worth $150 million and that's exactly what it needs to be, it ought to be, and that's where I'm going to get. They always sell themselves short.
Yeah.
And the only way you work that out is by just showing up and doing your thing and going all in. And then and the fact that I can still sit here with you and have those conversations about it reminds me, it's like, bro, you have to think bigger. And you hear it from these people, no matter what you're doing, no matter how confident you are, you're not thinking big enough. And the only way to do that is to continue to get surrounded by people.
You got to get around, you got to unsurround and surround, right? You got to get, you're just enamored with everybody that says you can't do it, it's not going to happen, it's not going to work, you're not the person. Who do you think you are? These things are killing you guys. If I ask you about your liabilities and your debts, you're going to tell me about Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. And I'm going to tell you, yeah, none of that's your problem.
Yeah.
It's in your freaking head. It's what your dad told you, your mom told you, your sister told you. It's that person you love the most in your life that's hanging you up. So we got to fix you first. We don't need to fix them, by the way. So you guys don't, out of this conversation, don't make your mom, your dad, your sister the target, or your wife or your husband. They're not the problem. You are. You're the one that's allowed this. You're the one that's allowed and participated in the scam. The biggest scam is what you tell yourself you can't do because you don't have time, you don't have money, it's not your turn, it's not your time, you're not lucky enough, you don't know anybody. Of course you don't know anybody. You hadn't invested any money in getting to know the right people. What do you think? Or you really think Reed Hastings is just going to come grab you? No, it ain't going to happen for you or me. It ain't going to happen for him. He found me.
Yep.
Okay? You know how he found me? Because I went and found me. I went and found me and made me, sold his dad a program. His dad saw my material and said, son, you need to go hang out with this guy. That's how that worked. Because I went out and did something great. And this weekend, this Easter weekend, guys, a lot of you out there celebrating a guy named Jesus. He left home and went and did something great. He didn't make excuses. I ain't got time, I ain't got money. He had one pair of sandals, didn't know anybody, and went and started telling a story. And along the way, he did great things. Okay? He didn't complain about his time. He didn't complain about his money. He didn't say, I miss Mama, I miss Mary, and I miss Joseph. No, he went and met a whole bunch of new people. Okay? Put himself at risk. You guys want to do great things? Put yourself at risk. All right? Starting right now. Okay? It's already 4 months into the year. We're in April of 2023. Your New Year resolutions, they've been burned off for 2 months. You forgot about them 2 months ago.
Yep.
Okay, let's get back to making business, doing business, and becoming the best version of yourself. Okay? That starts today. So for those of you who have not made a decision to do this yet, Johnny, back to me. For those of you who have not yet made a decision to do this, I'm giving you an order right now. Do this now. Do this for yourself. Do it for your family. Do it for your future. Do it for your mom, your dad. Do it for your spouse, your kids. Do this. Make a commitment. For those of you who have done programs and they didn't work, that was yesterday. You cannot live in yesterday. Okay, you need to start living in for a tomorrow. So if you didn't read the last book, so what? You didn't finish the program, so what? What are you going to do now? I'm giving you an order. Do this. Okay? I'm your guy. And I'm giving you advice, good advice, as a mentor. Do this and do it now. You will not regret it. You will thank me later. We'll get you the program today. Give me 1 hour a day for the next 19 days, and then give me 3 days, 20th, 21st, 22nd. Okay? Register each day, 28th, 29th, 30th. Okay, 28th, 29th, 30th. Sorry, 20 days from now. Come in and register each day. If you got to bang away because you got to go to work, no problem. Just register each day, and I'll give you the recording so that you don't miss anything, okay? You pay $297 today on a credit card. Okay, I'm going to give you a credit at my store for $297. In less time than it takes for you to even pay for the credit card, I'll deliver the entire program for you. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
You won't even pay for this program before we deliver to you, all right? If you're not happy, Jared said, we'll give you the money back. No problems. No questions asked, okay? I believe in you guys. I want to help you. My mission is to help millions and billions of people on this planet, okay? We've made it affordable. We brought you 2 great guests today. I promise you I will bring lightning, thunder, and miracles 20 days from now. But I need you to show up. Registrations at grantcardone.com/wealth, okay? This guy, I told this guy 12 years ago. 13 years ago. He had nothing. He didn't have a pot to piss in. I said, bro, you just do what I tell you to do, and I guarantee you'll be richer than you ever dreamed. Okay? And it wasn't about money for him. It wasn't just about money. That was part of the hustle, but he wanted a wife, and he wanted kids, and he wanted a lifestyle. So you just do what I tell you to do. Go where I go. Okay? Believe in me, and I promise you.
And especially in the beginning, like what Mark was saying. How in the beginning it's just a mad sprint. Like there was so much uncertainty and doubt in the beginning of whether or not this is the right thing to do. And so some of you may be running into that right now. You're just like, man, I don't know. You got a little confusion. You got doubt. Like, understand, like you're not in a position to trust yourself. And the only way you'll get past that is to put your trust in somebody else.
Of course you don't trust yourself. Why would you trust yourself though? Why would anybody? Let's say let me just take a group of people. You're 19 years old. You're going to say, I'm too young. No, of course you're going to say that. Okay. That's why you should do it. You're 25 years old and you've done other programs and they didn't work. So you don't trust yourself. So the last 2 didn't click. How do you know you didn't need the last 2 not to click for the third one to click? You're 35 years old and you got a wife and you got 2 kids and you're like, man, I ain't got time. Of course you don't trust yourself to even produce time. You don't trust yourself to like, I can figure the 3 days out. You don't even trust that you can pull 3 days out of 30 days and still make more money, okay? Like, so you're not in control yet. You're 45 years old. You're like, oh man, I don't know, man. Maybe it's too late for me. See, every decade you will have a different set of excuses. You're in your 50s. You're like, I got to get busy now. I got to get busy. I'm running out of time. You don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, you probably got 40 years left, and you don't even know you got 40 years. Guys, there's so much great stuff happening right now. So much unbelievable stuff. Like
opportunity everywhere.
Unbelievable. Okay, when contractions take place, the killers, okay, people with plans that are driven, that are passionate, dude, this is when we go.
The playing field literally, like teams just start going off the field because people get scared. They want to just preserve and protect right now.
They literally just leave the ball right there in the middle of the field and say, go get it. Who wants it?
This same thing, when I first started working here in 2010, I was coming into this exact same situation. People were still kind of losing their minds because the financial collapse happened. Came in, the industry that we were working in at the time was like decimated, but everybody, like, we just kept pushing. And while we were pushing in the business, he was pushing in real estate. And over the last 13 years, I don't know, 99.9% of the wealth that this guy has was created in the last 13 years. And it was because of 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, when everybody was still scared, everybody was still thinking small, everybody was just trying to protect what they had, that we went out on the field, we grabbed it all, and that moment is here again.
But you got to have the right mindset. You got to see it as an opportunity, not as a problem. I saw opportunity, not problems, okay? There's less than 0.5% of everybody watching this right now knew me 12 years ago. You didn't even know I existed. You just finished spending 3 hours with me. Thank you, by the way. Thank you for trusting me for 3 hours, okay? A lot of you, by the way, took advantage of the offer.
Yeah.
And are asking us about the recording for this today because you had to bounce. Okay. Congratulations that you took advantage of this offer. Okay. I look forward to spending time with you and getting to know you and blowing you up. This is my promise. Okay. And then I'll let you go. We're going to 10x your money this year. We're going to 10x your network. You need a network. You cannot keep living off the 3 or 4 or 5 people that you know right now. Okay. We got to get you out of your trailer home and out into the marketplace. Okay. Customers, 10x customers. You need more customers. Imagine if Eminem would have stayed in his little trailer and not gone out and mixed it up with
on
other
8
people.
Mile.
In 8 Mile, exactly. We're going to get you more customers. You don't have customers now. I'm going to show you how to get customers. Okay, I have millions of customers today. We're going to 10x the opportunities you have. Meaning we need new inventories, new products, new offers. Maybe you need to be in more than one vertical. Maybe you're a fitness coach and you're one vertical. I had a PT guy working for me. He can only trade so many hours. What does he charge me? $175 an hour or something? Yeah. Okay, but the problem is he can't raise to 350, and he can't work on 2 people at the same time. He needs another vertical to be in. Okay, then we're going to show you how to start increasing your inventories of offers that could be tangible, intangible, partnerships. What about bringing other partners in? This year, there's 32 million small businesses in America. We're going to show you how you could actually go out and buy companies with no money, 0 money. Can you imagine? This year, you could go get 10 companies without growing yours 10%. You could grow 10x just by grabbing other companies that are like you or things that you're passionate about. And the last thing is how to 10x your investments so that you got passive income, and tax write-offs that come with these. I just got a check for $2 million. $2 million this month, right? It came in?
Yeah.
For I didn't even have to do anything. Like those things are available for you, but you're not going to hear them if you're not at the table to see them. Okay, so the website's grantcardone.com/wealth. I'm going to be there. I hope you're there. I told you, be there. Okay, we gave you assurances that it'll work. $297. What is it?
$297.
$297.
Yep.
I'm going to credit you $297. We give you access to the entire time. Register each day. We'll also give you the recording in case you had to bounce because you had to work or you got kids or whatever. Okay, and then lastly, okay, if you're not happy on the May 1st, no problem. We'll just give you the money back. Okay. All you got to do is register. Click the link below. Let's go. And I'll see you guys.
GrantCardone.com/wealth.
I'll see you guys tonight. If y'all want to dig into this tonight, just give me 1 hour tonight on the wealth creation formula, okay? I'll blow your mind tonight. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. See ya.